Clapper. We're going to be on Clapper and we're going to be on Instagram tonight. We'll go ahead and start in three, two, one. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Oh boy, busy day, busy day. By the way, it looks like, yesterday we talked about, get this equipment straight here. Yesterday we kind of talked about whether or not we were going to be at war. I think yesterday's show was literally titled, Are We at War? Well, we got more information today that probably is going to lend to some credibility to that question as to whether we're at war or not. I'm going to come with receipts as always, but I want you to hear a few other things in addition to whether we're at war or not. And new information has come about. New information has come about since we were last on air. Since we were around last night, more stuff has come out, and just being honest with you, it's not looking good. Now, if you voted, talking to my beloved MAGA, we're talking to MAGA. If you voted for Trump, looks like you may have indeed voted for some sort of military conflict. That looks like that is far more, and I'm going to put emphasis on far more likely to happen than not at this point. They've announced that in addition to closing up embassies in the region, we have 3 aircraft carriers that's in that region now. It costs a fortune to move aircraft carriers around. You don't do that willy-nilly. To put 3 aircraft carriers in one region and considering the fuel and things like that it costs to do that, you don't do that unless it's highly likely that you're going to have a strike, some type of airstrike. Also, we've moved refueling aircraft in the region to refuel our bombers. You're seeing them showing you this, I think it's the B-2, that stealth bomber that they're suggesting that it is the only aircraft that can carry the bomb they're going to use to try to hit the Iranian nuclear program that's 300 feet underground. They're saying that the reactor, what Iran is working on, that they want to take out is buried 300 feet underground. So that's the length of a football field straight down. And it's in a mountain. So this Moab or bunker buster bomb they're talking about using, the bomb itself apparently weighs 30,000 pounds. So they're going to drop a piece of ordnance that weighs 30,000 pounds. And we have a few dozen of these. So they're saying that they have the capabilities of dropping one and then dropping another one into the same hole that the first one made. They've indicated that they may have to destroy a mountain to do this. So literally destroying nature to make this happen. But I'm going to give you some clips because it does appear as if, like I said, we're more likely at this point to go to war than not with Iran. And we can speak on what the definition of war is, because in my humble opinion, and I'm going to assume in all of your opinions as well, we've already went to war. We already are at war. We're just not calling it that. The participation that the U.S. has given in this conflict on behalf of Israel would be considered an act of war if somebody else was participating in a conflict that we were involved in. We're actively shooting down Iranian missiles. We're providing intelligence to the Israelis. If we were at war with somebody and they were doing exactly what we are doing on behalf of Israel on behalf of an enemy of ours, we would consider that an act of war. So we already are at war. The only difference is the Iranians are not jumping the gun and responding to it the way we would. But like I stated, if somebody else was doing what we are doing to the Iranians, to us, we would already have considered that an act of war. So really, we already are at war. But I want you to hear, we come with the clips. I want you to hear this because I am literally, there's a few clips I have tonight, and a couple of them are amazing. And you probably have heard one or two of them, but this just came in, which is why I'm saying we are likely more at war or closer to being at war than we ever thought we would have been. This is coming out of CBS News as of yesterday evening.
CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro joins us now. Aaron, it's good to see you. What's the latest from President Trump on whether the U.S. will join this conflict between Israel and Iran?
Yeah, Meg, I actually want to start by sharing some reporting that we just got from our colleague James Laporta, who said, according to a senior intelligence source and a Defense Department official, that President Trump approved on Tuesday night of attack plans for Iran, but did not make a final decision in case Iran agreed to abandon its nuclear program. Now, we know from President Trump's remarks to reporters earlier this afternoon in the Oval Office that Trump said that he has not made a final decision yet on if U.S. military involvement will increase to help Israel in their war with Iran. We know he had been considering options of striking Iranian nuclear facilities, including the possible...
Now, you hear what he says. As of yesterday evening, Trump approved plans to attack Iran, but he hasn't given the order to do it because it's pending on whether Iran decides to surrender or not. Well, Iran has made it clear they're not going to surrender. So if you've already approved attacking them and it's only pending on them surrendering, there's a good chance that either tonight or within the next night or two, we're probably going to act. I mean, we're as close as we can ever be to this. We're as close as we can ever be to this. Now, the reason why I'm asking the simple question of what the hell are we doing, because not long ago, and this is, Trump's intelligence specialist, Tulsi Gabbard. This is Tulsi Gabbard from Trump's intelligence.
Iran's cyber operations and capabilities also present a serious threat to U.S. networks and data. The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program. In the past year, we've seen an erosion of a decades-long taboo in Iran on discussing nuclear weapons in public, likely emboldening nuclear weapons advocates within Iran's decision-making apparatus. Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is at its highest levels and is unprecedented for a state without nuclear weapons.
Why is she saying that Iran is not trying to develop a nuclear weapon? This is the intelligence director for President Trump, someone he personally appointed. Why is he going around saying they're developing a nuclear weapon and his own intelligence director is saying they're not? As I stated, what the hell are we doing? I mean, this is his own entity, his own department is clashing with what he is saying. Now, he was questioned in regards to this. He was asked a question in regards to what Tulsi Gabbard just stated. Here is the answer that he gave.
There we go, Max. It's called Max time.
So you always said that you don't believe Iran should be able to have a nuclear weapon, but how close do you personally think that they were to getting one? Because Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having one.
Now,
This beautiful.
there was a brief exchange. You may have not been able to hear it over the roar of the engines on Air Force One, but the reporter asked, in March, Tulsi Gabbard said they're not developing a nuclear weapon, which is what I played you before this. And, Trump responded by saying, I don't care what she said. I believe they're pretty close to getting a weapon. So the obvious question is going to be, if you don't trust your director of intelligence, why the hell is she there? Why is she even in the position if you're not going to trust what she is telling you? So that's what I don't understand. I want you guys to, hopefully somebody can clear that up, but why give Tulsi Gabbard the job if when she does the job, you're going to say, I don't give a, what did he literally said, I don't care what she says. Then why is she there? Why have an advisor that you don't care what she says? By the way, this is where Congress needs to step up. Why is the president and his intelligence director doing a 180 on whether Iran is developing a nuclear bomb? Congress needs to step in. This is where you hold an investigation. Both Tulsi and Trump should have to prove why they are saying what they are saying. Tulsi Gabbard should give evidence to why she is, from whatever investigation she's come to suggest they're not developing a nuclear weapon. And damn it, Trump needs to provide evidence to why he's saying they are. Now, I know we all know Trump is allowed to say a hell of a lot of things, from the 2020 election was stolen to people are eating cats and dogs without ever providing proof. So my guess is the right is not going to demand Trump show any proof of what he said at all, and they're probably going to discount Tulsi Gabbard the way he just did. But that makes no sense, and we'll talk about that as the program goes along. But before we start taking calls, I do have a couple other things, and this is all in regards to what's going on right now, all in regards to that. But many of you have probably seen this already. This is Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas. This has made the rounds. It's went viral. I'm going to play the video that went viral, but this is not the video we're going to be mainly talking about. There's another one. There's another one that should have went more viral than this one, but this is Tucker Carlson literally turning Senator Ted Cruz to smithereens.
Living around, by the way.
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people living around?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that? It's not. Okay. You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
anything
claims
about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump.
I'm not saying that.
Tulsi Gabbard makes a really good point by stating, you want to topple this country, but you don't even know the simple demographics or even the population that exists in the country. And I'm sure many of you heard that already. And he also got Ted Cruz to admit that we're helping the Israelis. And then Ted Cruz was forced to backtrack. And I should have had a better portion of that clip to bring up. But that's not what I'm here to discuss. In that interview with Ted Cruz, between Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson, there was something that I believe is even far more damning. But before I go to that, Real Talk says, hey, MAGA, are we still using the slogan, no new wars? Or are we waiting for the excuse, think tank to finish? MAGA ain't shit, says Real Talk. So he is asking indeed, is MAGA still using that slogan, no new wars? Or are you waiting for the excuse, think tank to finish? My guess is it's probably the latter. The no new wars thing seems to be outdated at this point. I want you to hear this, though. In addition to what you just heard with Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz, the exchange back and forth, this one is not making as much news. It did not go as viral, but in my opinion, it absolutely should have, because this one, once again featuring Ted Cruz, is probably more dangerous.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use...
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase, you don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on. Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked 49 questions about.
So that's what that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
So is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the descendants of Abraham.
Okay, what the fuck is that? I'm going to be simple. What the fuck is that? If you take Ted Cruz's language and you replace the Bible with the Quran, and you replace Israel with Mecca, he sounds like a fucking Islamic extremist. He literally is talking just like an Islamic extremist. He could be ISIS for God's sakes. He literally sounds like an Islamic extremist. He's using religion to go to war. All he needs to yell out is Allahu Akbar. as opposed to God bless America. He is literally sounding like an Islamic extremist. Why the hell is he in the Senate? Why the hell isn't MAGA? Isn't the Republican Party more critical of that? That should be all over the news that he literally is talking about. The Bible says that we will be blessed by defending Israel. What's next? 72 fucking virgins? What's the difference? What is the difference? This is what we're going to talk about today, folks. I cannot believe an actual sitting senator is quoting scripture as a reason to go to war and defend the nation. But you hear it right there. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start the program. I'm very disappointed to start. I wasn't a Ted Cruz fan to begin with, but damn, did Tucker Carlson really turned him upside down and shook every coin out of his pocket. I mean, this is horrible. Why is he a sitting senator talking like that? I mean, what's the difference between him and some liberal defending Palestine or Hamas or something like that? He's talking about going to war in the name of God. Why does he get a pass? So we're going to talk about that. As always, you guys know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor. I'd be curious to speak to some MAGA because I certainly want to hear from you folks on this as well. I know I got a lot of evangelicals and Christians on the program, but he's talking about God. I was shocked to hear it. It really threw me back just to even hear something like this. So anyway, you know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body. We go left of Bernie Sanders to him having dinner with Q. If you favor that type of dialogue before we start the program, I'll ask that you follow the program if you're watching on TikTok or Instagram, and if you're Clapper tonight, and if you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a subscription. We're here generally Monday through Friday. And by the way, news just came in once again, another case of an inept Congress who passed a law that we were supposed to be getting rid of TikTok at the end of last year. Trump just announced today, because we were supposed to lose TikTok as of tomorrow, he just extended it for 90 more days. I don't understand how the hell Congress passes a law. Trump says, fuck the law, we're just going to keep doing this. I'm happy to be on TikTok. Listen, I enjoy speaking to you folks. I enjoy the criticism. I enjoy the compliments. But fact is, he's just basically saying fuck Congress. So looking in the comments, he don't get a pass as far as I'm concerned, says Sally Ashworth. Are you hearing anything about it on right-wing media, though? You're hearing about how the liberals kept secret that Biden's cognitive dissonance was falling. Are you hearing them saying anything about the fact that we got a sitting senator that's actually using religion as a reason whether to support a war or not? Are you hearing anything on the right-wing channels? Fox, Newsmax, OAN, Patriot Radio. Going to the box, we'll start out with, I don't know what I just hit there, but we'll go straight to the box. Michael, good evening, Mike. A sitting senator using religion. What say you, Mike? Good evening.
This is a fucking cartoon, man. This is so crazy. If it wasn't, I'm only laughing to keep from crying because this shit is absurd.
Yeah, you'll be.
These casts, we're in the cacistocracy. I told you that. This is Tim. We're going down past even. I didn't think we'd be going down so fast.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I cannot believe what Ted Cruz said. There is not major news floating around everywhere.
Well, because you know the right's not going to show it. They're just going to make uses for it. Right?
What kind of, something, to be honest with you, what excuse could you make for that? I'm dying to talk to some MAGA tonight, but what kind of excuse could you make for something like that?
Well, I wouldn't, but I'm pretty sure if MAGA Reacts is in the room, he's going to Daffy Duck his way through some fucking excuse. He's going to Bugs Bunny his way through some, yeah, he's going to Porky Pig his way through some shit tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
listen, let me say this, Tim. Keep in mind, Donald Trump's administration is trying to deport students for protesting Palestine or whatever, and we got a senator. Making comments like that.
Yeah. I don't see any difference between him and an Islamic fundamentalist. I mean, he's just doing it in the name of Christianity versus Islam. I mean, that's exactly how they talk. He's doing the same thing.
It is. But you know what though, Tim? This is here's the thing. The only reason we're just seeing this now is because Biden won. Biden interrupted Trump's first term. Yeah. If he had won that second term back to back, we'd have been talking about this 4 years ago.
I wish
all he did was interrupt their plans.
I gotta say though, I wonder what else is. I mean, Tucker Carlson, like I said, he turned him upside down and shook all the coins out of his pocket. I gotta wonder what else has Ted Cruz been saying that the right has been keeping under wraps, because that was pretty bad. I mean, I don't know. I can't think of. We can talk about Ilhan Omar and we can talk about Maxine Waters and some of the shit coming from the left. I don't know anything that's as bad as that.
Well, you know what, Tim? They'll say anything. They'll say and do anything, and they say it and do it because they know that there's really no retribution, except for Tulsi Gabbard. Her ass is gonna be gone here in a second.
Yeah, what about that? The fact that she said in March that the Iranians are not developing a nuclear weapon, and then Trump says, I don't give a damn what she says. With her being a director of intelligence, how does that work? How do you have a director of intelligence that is still serving in a position, and you're saying you don't give a damn what they say?
Well, who is Iran's strongest ally?
Well, we know they're dealing with oil with China.
Yeah, and who are they providing weapons to right now?
Oh shit! They provided weapons to the Houthis. They provided weapons to Hamas.
Russia.
Yeah, another one. Yeah,
Russia.
Yeah,
and so
Russia. Russia released a statement warning us against attacking them.
Correct, but who has she been tied to?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Who was Tulsi
Gabbard was speaking on behalf of Russia, just like Tucker Carlson.
Right. So it would be in their best interest to say there's nothing there because this conflict does not help Russia.
So what do we have? A whole administration full of fucking liars?
I done told you, Tim. Why are you looking in the camera surprised? Listen. Think about what I just said. Now, all of this stuff is tied together. Trump stopped the Iran nuclear deal right after Obama's administration, right? And if you go look at the data, you'll see where the enrichment was going down underneath that deal. Trump got rid of that Obama's agreement, and it was going back up. But now you got Tulsi, who was tied over there to Russia, saying it ain't there. And Trump saying, I don't care what she thinks.
But wait a minute though. The liberals have been claiming that Trump and Putin are best friends. So if Putin doesn't want us to attack Iran, and Trump and the liberals are claiming that the Russians are Trump's best friend, then Trump should be Trump should be avoiding the conflict with Iran, should he not? Unless the liberals are wrong.
Well, I told you he's the prostitute in chief, and he's not loyal to anyone. I've been telling you that since we met. He's not loyal to anyone. Number one, because what people fail to realize, whether it's Putin, whether it's Netanyahu, he's transactional, Tim. He's transactional.
I don't disagree with that. He is transactional, but so in other words, Trump has loyalty to no one, basically. Anybody is expendable.
No. Okay. He literally just said, I don't care what Gabbard just said, right? He literally just said that. Yep. She'll be in the doghouse by this time next week.
So now you're predicting that Trump and Tulsi Gabbard will fall out.
100%. He's going to fall out with all of them, Tim. This is what he does. He will. Listen, I had this debate earlier with the MAGA supporter, and I said, well, just show me where I'm wrong. Show me where he has a long-term allegiance with somebody.
It's a good point.
Show me.
That's a good. Well, he had a long-term allegiance with Michael Cohen, but that ended a few years back. So he had a 20-year allegiance with that guy.
And even that ended as soon as the shit hit the fan. He didn't know who the hell he was. But in all seriousness, at the end of the day, he's a narcissist. So, I mean, he came out and said he would unalive another leader of a country.
Yeah, and that's against the law. President Ford, during the Ford administration, we entered in an agreement that we would not threaten or assassinate heads of state. And, well, he took out Soleimani. I mean, wasn't a head of state, but he was a pretty high-ranking official in Iran. I mean, he's threatening people by sending them pictures of their houses. I mean, Trump has kind of went around that from day one.
Right. But listen, I told you he runs this like a business. I just told you this just yesterday. And so now he's an agent of chaos. Everything is all over the place. People, everyone, and let me be clear. All those, Trump is a user and the people that he picked are users, right? So everybody has their own agenda. Everybody's running around. I'm gonna tell you this, and this is my theory. They've got a sugar booger problem at the White House. You can write that one down.
What the hell is a sugar booger problem? Explain.
They got a powder problem. Are you
talking about like Coke?
Yes, sir.
I thought Hunter Biden was gone. I thought Hunter Biden was gone.
That's what they said, exactly. Listen, you got Pete. Let me ask you this: If Pete Hegseth has a drinking problem, and he has had a drinking problem,
okay,
right? What do you think the stress of this moment is going to do, Tim?
You're telling me that Hegseth might be so stressed out that he might, relapse?
Yeah. What's going on with Christy Nolan being in the hospital? What's going on with Tulsi Gabbard and her and Trump? Dude, this is a shit show on the world stage. And they're saying, Cowgirl had in the past. Well, he was drinking as soon as he came into the office. About a week after he got confirmed, he was on the
Allegedly. I saw the drink when he was at the summit or whatever. We saw.
What do you think it was, Tim?
He could have been apple juice.
What do you think it was?
It could have been apple juice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it could have been apple juice. Okay. So listen, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, we saw that. Cowgirl, what are you talking about? See, this is the thing. It is getting to the point right now where everything is the opposite of reality. Like we are threatening to do this, but Trump created this problem.
Well, let me ask you this though, because I had MAGA Reacts and Jeremy and some of my MAGA viewers on yesterday. They're starting to show cracks. I mean, MAGA React said he's down to the point. You know, I asked him the question, what letter grade would you get Trump so far? They're barely giving Trump a B. I mean, I think MAGA Reacts is starting to talk like a C minus. So some MAGA voters, and this is the first I've seen, because most of the black MAGA I talk to outside of this live, they still support Trump. But I am starting for the first time to see some cracks among MAGA, particularly with this war.
100% is happening. Matter of fact, today Pete Hegseth turned over the Iran plans to a single-star general or a general, which is unprecedented, right? But it's supposed to be his job to handle these. He just turned it over to a general today. Did you hear that?
No, I haven't heard that.
So any Iran plans for conflict, Pete has turned it over to a general. It's his job.
Because he felt the general might be a little bit more knowledgeable.
He might be a little bit. What did you say? He's more qualified, Tim?
Yeah.
Are we talking about qualification, Tim? It is true, April. Just look it up. Just Google it.
I haven't heard that, but if it is true, I'm going to say, even though it's Pete Hegseth's job, I will applaud Pete Hegseth for realizing he's in over his head. That's the problem with Trump, is that Trump makes decisions and does not refer to people who might be more intelligent. If Hegseth, who has the job, decided, let me go consult with somebody else that's more knowledgeable, I can't hate on a man for doing that.
Consulting is one thing, but he's supposed to own the responsibility.
He's going to get the responsibility no matter what.
Well, listen, look, hey, they put him in there. Hey, you got to lie. Hey, you got to lie with them fleas. It is what it is. And all you got to do is go look it up. All you got to do is Google Iran, and if Pete Hegseth, it'll pop right up. I mean, at the end of the day, look at where we are. We're on the brink of WW3, which they were supposed to be saying no new wars, no new conflicts, right? And again, Tim, every time we talk, and we do this 2-3 times a week, is something new going the opposite.
But is it 100% the fault of the Trump administration? Liberal annihilation is beautiful. Friend of the program, he's pretty critical, but he says fuck Obama. It's all his fault for giving all that money to Iran. How do you respond to somebody who says that?
Okay, first of all, and they always say that, but what they fail to realize is when back in, I think it was 2011, when when Iran had bought all of that military equipment from us, and they never got it.
Yeah.
They bought all that military equipment from us, and they never got it. What he did is he released their funds. That was one. And then the second time when he released the funds, they were sanctions and they had frozen their assets. And he gave them their assets based on them signing that Iran nuclear deal. So it was their money to begin with.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. It was their money to begin with. Now, you can say, well, we gave them the... But again, he's doing... Here's the thing. This presidency is unprecedented. We haven't seen anything like this.
Oh, no shit. Trump does a lot more than the average person, but sometimes it can be chaotic.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the comments, and I know I'm going to do that. Yes, cowgirl, if they paid for something and we never gave them what they paid for, we gave them their money back. So, yes, that's kind of how it works. Because when you're negotiating, he's supposed to be the negotiator.
Let me just say, as clear as possible, the money that Iran received during the Obama administration was not U.S. tax dollars. It was money of theirs that we had seized. So people were, well, you could have done all this and this and this with that money. It wasn't our money. It was money that we seized from them.
Now, but you know that, right, Tim?
Yeah.
So, you know it and I know it. We're not the smartest. We're not the sharpest tools in every damn shed. The people in the comments, the people that are listening, instead of just looking at the headlines, just go do a little research and you'll see. But at the end of the day, and I told you this the other night, and I'm going to say it again before you drop me down. Either Trump is the pillar of strength that they said he was. They said Trump is the only one. I picked Trump because of his foreign policy, and he can handle Putin, and he can handle Netanyahu and all that shit.
Yeah.
Is anybody listening to him?
That was the saying that, finally we got a leader that's respected worldwide, and they were laughing at Biden. Now it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like Trump came in there and all the leaders stood at attention and they're taking Trump seriously. No, it does not look like that.
So what does that mean?
It means he misspoke at the very least.
At a minimum. That's at a minimum.
Yeah.
Right? So what are we talking about?
Well, as long as nothing actually happens, it could all be for naught. But it does appear as if with 3 aircraft carriers sent to the region and bombers and refueling, they're saying that Trump already approved the orders. It seems like, look, if I'm betting, I'm going to bet probably, 2-1 that it happens. I mean, my guess is Trump has made his mind up that he's going to strike.
Well, yeah, I believe that's true as well. Hold on one second, Tim, because I don't like anybody calling me a liar. What does that say, Tim, on my screen? What does that say?
You're going to have to give me a minute to explode it here. It says Pete Hegseth defers to General on Pentagon's plans for Iran. That is what it says.
Okay, thank you.
Denkel, right. Appreciate that. Thank you.
So my point is this. And if you read it, he's given an unusual level of authority to a single general in the latest Middle East crisis, and Iran hawk who is pushing for stronger military.
I'm not, you and I are going to differ on this because I'm not going to necessarily pound Pete Hegseth for doing it. My guess is other people have done it. It just didn't make public information. But my guess is a lot of leaders have somebody else that is lower than them that is making a lot of their decisions for them. I mean, a lot of the, whether it's the Department of Education or any of those, there are probably people in those departments that are very knowledgeable, that the head of the department is actually treating their word as law. They just ain't telling you it. They just aren't telling you they're doing it.
Listen, I believe you should be working in a way where you're engaging your generals. That's what you should be doing. Right? But he's handing it over. Right? But here's the thing. He wasn't qualified to begin with. See, this is the problem.
We know that. Okay, we agree with that. we absolutely agree that Hegseth should not have had that job. I mean, I agree with that 100%.
And somebody in the chat just took my comment. You replace a 4-star general. You place a 4-star general with plenty of experience, but he was black and he had to go. Right? And Did I make that up?
No, you didn't make that up. I got to move it on, but they claim he was DEI and Hexef had more merit, I guess.
This is the result of making all of those terrible decisions. You know, listen, we are.
Well, nothing has happened yet. You said it's the result. Nothing has officially happened yet, so you can't blame Hexef yet. They haven't made a bad decision yet. I mean, well, Signal and all that. Hexef has not lived up. Yeah, Hexef has made some bad decisions, but Trump administration war-wise has not officially went all the way yet. So we can't blame them just yet completely.
Okay, that's fair enough. Before I go, yeah, we can't blame them completely. The next time we have this conversation, when we are saying that we can blame them,
yeah,
we'll be at war.
Yeah, probably fucking be tomorrow. Probably.
Now the last thing, Tim. Yeah, exactly. But the last thing, the Feds didn't lower the interest rate today.
Yeah, I heard.
Right?
Yeah, he's calling them too late or something. Called the guy stupid. I did hear that.
Yeah, he's not because there's too many things going on. We got tariffs and we got world conflict and we got all these things. And this is the example of stability. This is the example of a strong leader.
Well, I don't want to go down too far down the road to tariffs, but we certainly will be talking about that as well. Or better yet, them lowering the rating. There's so much things going on in the Trump administration, you can't even cover it all on the show. But Mike, appreciate you coming through.
Okay, bro.
All right. And speaking of not being able to cover every damn thing, I want you to, now Trump claimed today, or when he was at the G7, he stated that we have made some sort of a trade deal with the United Kingdom. I want you to look on the monitor behind me. This is when he announces that. If I can get my equipment going. He comes out.
Full camera. Full camera.
Watch what happens.
Thank you very much. We all know the great Prime Minister of the UK, and we just signed a document. Sorry about that.
Now, you can't see it as clear on my monitor, but I want to just explain to you what happened. He's coming out and he's talking about he's with the Prime Minister of the UK, and they signed this, as he refers to it, as a great deal. And he's about to hold up the book and show that they've signed this, and the paperwork falls out. It's all blank. There's nothing on any of the paperwork. So he's about to show you how to, we signed this great deal, and the paperwork falls out, and all of this shit is blank. Like, what are we doing? I mean, like, this literally looks like he got caught in 100% caught in a lie. Why are you holding up a book that has nothing on any of the pages? You literally signed a piece of paper with nothing on it. Why isn't this being questioned? You're going to talk about Biden falling off bikes, Biden falling on stage and tripping on aircraft steps. The man is saying he signed a document that has nothing on it. Who did he make this agreement with? Casper, the friendly ghost? Why isn't this news? I could not believe that. He signed an agreement and held up the agreement, and every single page is blank. And once again, you're not going to hear anything about this on the right. That is hilarious. Anyway, continuing on with the program. Wow, this is a great administration. I got to tell you that. Okay, tap the screen, by the way. Get the likes on up to 20,000. You know how the program is ran. I'm asking you folks to tap the screen, get the likes on up. We'll take the next caller. Also called wrong country. I don't even know what to do with the man holding up a piece of paper or maybe an agreement, bragging that he signed an agreement. All the pages are blank. Wow. Another liberal lie, I see, says Riza Mahmoud. Explain what the lie is about. I'd love to know. Like I said, we don't block, ban, or censor. So if you think you hear some liberals lying, state your case. If we have to concede your point, if you're making sense, we'll agree with you. But just type in a liberal liar without any context doesn't say much. He's holding a bunch of blank pieces of paper. Are you really supposed to just ignore that? Yes, MAGA cried when Biden was in office every day also. Well, yeah, that's true. It's hilarious that MAGA war hawks are now saying America first. MAGA people have TDS. You got to use the purple light on it to see it, Tim. That's funny. Okay, let me go back to the box. He's saying to see what the wording on it. What is it, like invisible ink, where you got to put it under the black light to see? I mean, that's embarrassing. All the pages fall out and there's nothing on them. Wow. All right, let me go back to the box. And somebody said the sunlight is too shiny. No, it's not. The reporters that are there are the ones that say wasn't nothing on the pages. I mean, they got pretty, when they're interviewing Trump, they're using very high-tech camera equipment. It ain't gonna ever be so sunny that when you aim one of those expensive cameras at a piece of paper, it comes up blank if there's actual wording on it. It ain't that fucking sunny. But nice try. I'll give you credit for trying. All right, going back to the box, we'll continue on. I thought I said Dan Keller. We'll go to Nate Debates. Good evening, Nate. The question we're asking tonight, simply put, is what the hell are we doing? Are we literally going to go to war? And is it a justifiable cause? Nate, good evening.
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, so if you talk about, where are we, what are we about to do? Is it justifiable? So, the main point, right, that some people are making now, it sounds like Trump is like placidly making, is that, well, we are getting involved in this because Iran is developing a nuclear bomb, and that he can't have that for stability.
Yeah, but what about his director? What about his director of intelligence? Did you hear what she said?
Yeah, right. So she said that Iran is not developing a nuclear weapon, right? And so Iran has been in a pretty similar situation for a really long time, right? Like you've had Mossad in Israel saying that they're 6 months away from developing a bomb, they're 3 months away for 20 years.
Okay.
Bibi, I mean, he wrote in his autobiography in 2001 that they would have a nuclear bomb by 2005.
Yeah, but Bibi, Netanyahu has said multiple times over the last decade or so that Iran was only a few months from getting a nuclear weapon. At what point does his credibility start to be questioned?
Oh, no, I don't think that he has credibility, right?
Oh.
So I think the idea, right, if we truly believe that Iran had a nuclear weapon, we would never get involved in this. Israel would have never done this, right? So it's like the main justification for why the U.S. would never have a direct war with Russia, of course, is that we know that they have nuclear weapons. The very fact that we're about to get involved in direct conflict with Iran shows that we know that they don't have nuclear weapons, nor do they have the short-term capacity to produce one.
So then what are we doing? As I said, then why are we, if we know or feel confident they don't have it, then what are we just bullying them for the sake of bullying them?
I think in this situation, Trump was essentially just backstabbed by the Israelis. I don't think he saw the situation coming at all. And now he's in a position where he has, if he decides to get involved in this, I believe that it will create the largest political realignment we've seen since 2016.
You said it will create the largest what?
Political realignment that we've seen since 2016.
What do you mean? You mean the Democrats will be very victorious in the midterms or something?
Not necessarily. I think you're probably going to see some Democratic senators come out and support Trump if he decides to get involved in this.
Really?
So I think I think so. Yeah.
So you think if we bomb Iran, you're going to have Democratic politicians siding with Trump?
Yes. I think I'm blanking on his name. What's the big guy from Pennsylvania that always dresses?
Fetterman. Senator Fetterman is starting to look a lot like Christian Sinema and Joe Manchin of West Virginia. It wouldn't surprise me if he went Tulsi Gabbard in the future.
Yeah. So I think you'll see some of that, right? And you're going to see a handful of Republican senators that are going to go against him, like Rand Paul, for an example, will be very much so against that. And I think you're going to see in the Democratic side, there's going to be in the primaries a fight between, like, are we supporting Israel in this conflict or are we not? And I think it's going to be a question to what extent did the populace do well in the midterms? Did they actually show up and vote? But I think if we have a Democratic candidate that's running against like averting war with Iran or ending it if it starts, I think that will be a huge political.
I'm surprised what you're saying here. I don't imagine there's going to be many Democrats that are siding with Trump on this. I mean, like I said, his own director of intelligence is saying that they're not developing a nuclear weapon. So you got to kind of wonder if Trump is just doing this as some kind of allegiance to Bibi Netanyahu. I mean, he moved the embassy. I mean, he's been very pro-Israel. Same thing with Gaza and all of that. I mean, Trump just seems to be pro-Israel to a fault.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's in a spot where he has the reputation of being the tough guy, and obviously it's apparent that Iran, for example, is not buying it. So I think to him, his worry of not acting is that, well, one, there's a faction of MAGA in his coalition that'll be really upset with him because they're like aggressively pro-Israel, and two, I think he's like just worried about looking weak, just as like a matter of personal ego.
Yeah, but what I don't get is this. I mean, the nation of North Korea, because we're talking about we got to do something because they've yelled death to America. The nation of North Korea has threatened us considerably more than Iran has.
Correct.
They've lobbed missiles over Japan. They've threatened South Korea. I believe South Korea is part of NATO. They've threatened South Korea quite a bit. They threatened to bomb Guam, which is one of our territories. The citizens of Guam are essentially American citizens. And we haven't talked about going and doing anything to North Korea. So it's just because all you need is a few nuclear bombs and we'll just leave you alone. I mean, to me, it seems like we're just threatening Iran because we can.
Yeah, well, 100%. It was the same thing with Iraq, right? Like, you don't go to a war with a country because you think they have weapons of mass destruction. You go to a war with a country because you know that they don't.
Yeah.
And I mean, and this type of behavior from our country is just incentivizing smaller countries getting nuclear weapons because it literally works. Like, if Iraq had nuclear weapons, Saddam would still be in power in Iraq. If Syria had them, Assad would still be in power in Syria. So it's just like this behavior is what is creating crisis.
I could not agree with you more. It seems that if you get your hands on an atomic weapon, it helps to prevent the West from fucking with you. If you got it, once you get a nuclear weapon, the West will leave you alone, particularly the United States, because you notice with this whole Iran deal, where is NATO? Where is the UN? You don't see the UN or NATO at all standing up and saying, yeah, we need to do something about Iran. This is essentially America and Israel by themselves in this. NATO is not, even though Iran, you got America saying that Iran is a danger to having a nuclear weapon or whatever. They're a lot closer to many of the NATO member states, and ain't none of them talking that way. Why is that?
Because they don't buy it, right? I mean, so there's many fair criticisms of the Iranian government, 100%, but it's not a giant death cult, right? Like, they're not all being like, yeah, we're going to nuke Tel Aviv and cause tens of millions of deaths, right? Like, they understand that they cannot actually use a nuclear weapon. So this idea, right, that like we're going to get involved with this because, like BB said, today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. Like, if you seriously buy that it's a remote possibility that Iran nukes New York, it's just, you don't have any understanding of geopolitics.
Yeah, but why not, Tel Aviv today, Paris tomorrow, Munich tomorrow,
right.
Spain tomorrow, Madrid tomorrow. I think the reason is we keep fucking with them, so we fear they're going to fuck with us. The rest of the NATO member states is not always in their business, so they don't have any concern with Iran getting a nuclear weapon because they don't have any beef against them. We're in their business telling them what to do, constantly trying to control them. So we don't want them to get a nuclear weapon because that would break the reins of our control. That's how I see it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you brought up, once you have a nuke, the West leaves you alone.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at with the Kim regime, they're very likely going to transition to the fourth generation of the Kims being in charge in North Korea because of the fact that his grandfather developed nuclear weapons, right? So it's just, we have no ethos, no sway when we behave in this way to actually convince countries not to develop nuclear programs. It's just like, it's just such irresponsible behavior by this administration.
Well, you know something, because a lot of folks, a lot of my beloved MAGA, my Second Amendment crowd, has this mindset that an armed society is a polite society. In other words, strength through power and all of this is, you don't have to use weapons, but the fact that you have one is a deterrent. So based on that logic, maybe the world would be a bit more safer if everybody had an atomic weapon. I mean, people wouldn't be fucking with each other. It might be an armed planet is a polite planet, because that's what they say all the time. An armed society is a polite society in regards to the Second Amendment. So maybe everybody need to get their hands on some atomic weapons, and that way people will quit messing with each other.
Yeah, you might have just cracked the code of world peace. Who knows? But I'm curious. Do you think, right? Like if Trump gets us into this conflict, do you think that there'll be a significant faction in MAGA over this?
Yeah, you already got. I've already had MAGA come on the program that I've been talking to for a few years that are devoted MAGA, saying that this right here would be a problem. Because, this ain't what we voted for. Not to mention, other than the immigration issue and maybe some of that LGBTQ trans stuff, most of the stuff that Trump ran on, he's not delivering. Other than him, what he's telling you, I found a ton of money in waste, fraud, and abuse. But if you're still paying the same price for a pound of chicken wings at the grocery store, that don't mean shit to you. So he's not really delivering on anything other than border security and immigration, and maybe some of the LGBT, women in sports type shit. Other than that, most of his signature campaign promises, ending wars in 24 hours, strengthening the economy and stuff like that, it ain't really being delivered on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he has to own it all now. It's just like when Harris was running for president, anytime she tried to make any point, he'd be like, oh, but I can't afford to buy butter or whatever. So that's on Trump now to figure out. But I mean, I'll tell you what, too, I'm making this prediction now. If Trump goes into Iran and seeks approval to use force from Congress, I think there's going to be at least 10 Democrats that vote to approve it. So that's why I'm saying I think it'll make it a massive shakeup in the Democratic Party too.
I see it. I don't buy that. In fact, I will tell you this. In my opinion, if Trump goes into Iran, you're going to have more Republicans as detractors than you're going to have Democrats supporting them. I think you're going to start having, because now you're talking about sending people's kids to fucking war. You're talking about people, all of Congress. Remember when George W. Bush got us into that war in Iraq? When it came down to election time, everybody on the Republican side that was running for office had to answer whether or not they agreed to that war or not, and that cost a lot of people their careers. That will happen this time too. So if you're a senator or a congressman and you have been letting Trump do what he wants because you're afraid of losing your job, this is something you may let him do that can cost you your job anyway. I got to move it on, but I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I'm just so how I see this playing out, right, is he's going to pitch it to Congress, something like this. He's going to say, okay, so Israel's already taken out all.
Do you really think he's going to pitch it to Congress at all? Congress ain't going to put up no resistance. You can just tell Congress the next day, you know what I did last night? I went to war with Iran. Congress would be like, yeah, how did it turn out? Congress, you don't need to pitch shit to Congress.
So yeah, maybe more so to the public. I think it's going to go something like he's going to say, well, Israel's taken out like all the heavy artillery.
Yeah.
All we have to do, we just got to go fly, drop the big bomb on their nuclear facilities, and then this problem's going to be solved forever. And I think that's how it starts. But I hope I'm wrong, but I appreciate you for giving me some time here.
Fair enough. My doors are always open to you. Certainly if it turns out that 10 Democrats sided with Trump on this. I would love to speak to you in the future. Thanks for excuse me. Thanks for coming through. Looking at the comments, Trump wants wars. That's the only way he can stay in power. I don't know about that one, Eon. I don't know. I don't know if start because listen, Russia just advised us against attacking Iran because Iran has been supplying Russia with equipment during the war. Iran also supplies China with fuel. So it's not a matter of just taking out Iran and walking off into the sunset celebrating. You got two superpowers that are depending on Iran, that are not going to favor America and Israel taking out Iran. That's just, I mean, you could end up with some crazy ass proxy wars doing that. It's not like Trump hasn't said a bunch of awful shit about China. So China does not have any reason at all to want to be favoring America right now. Trump has been attacking China since he came down the golden escalator. Successful MD, I apologize for not responding sooner. He said, having a multi-draft dodger as commander-in-chief is terrible. Suggesting that Trump dodged the draft, yet he's in control of the military. I'll leave that at that. Is it official that he dodged the draft? I mean, the man said he had bone spurs. I got flat feet. I don't know. But he said having a draft dodger in control of the military is really short work. China. Yes, that's what happened, Joe Blow. Now, continuing on the program, by the way, tap the screen. We'll go to 30,000 and take the next caller. Low-key Texan says that's cap. I don't know. You're saying it's not true that Trump dodged the draft? I don't know, but that is the rumor that's out there. But real quick before we continue on, I played this earlier, but I do want to play it again because some new folks have come in since we started the program. Because to me, this should be one.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible. This
should be one of the biggest stories out there to me. I'll play. This is Ted Cruz again with Tucker Carlson. It's only like a little bit less than a minute long, but I want to play it for folks who haven't heard it yet. This should be some of the biggest news out there. Now, I think we've all seen the Ted Cruz Tucker Carlson video that went viral where Ted Cruz did not know the demographics of Iran and Tucker Carlson's like, how could you want to topple their government and you don't even know the population of the country or the religious demographics and things like that. This is not that video. This to me should be the video everybody's talking about, not that one.
School, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my. You pull out the phone and use
it's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase you don't have context for and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
hold on. Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you'd have asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
So is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political.
I'm going to say that same thing I said last time. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? He literally sounds like an Islamic extremist. I mean, if you replace Ted Cruz using the word Israel and you replace Israel with Mecca, you replace the Bible with the Quran, he sounds no different than an ISIS Islamic extremist. I mean, you're literally using Christianity as a reason for war. And I see in the comments, Alter Ego says, as a Christian, it's a must to stand with Israel. That's straight out of Al-Qaeda and ISIS playbook. They're saying that the Quran and Allah tells them to do this kind of shit. What's the difference? Other than you like it because it's Christian and you don't like it because it's Islamic? This dude does not need to be a senator because he is going to be part of the group that's deciding whether we go to war or not. And he's making it clear he's deciding based on biblical prophecies. That's insane. That is insane. We would certainly have all sorts of choice words if you heard Bin Laden or somebody from the Middle East talking about religion is why they're going to war. But you got a nice, true blue, white senator from Texas saying it, and all of a sudden it gets no attention at all. His language is exactly that. It's exactly that. I see in the comments, Vukabi says, why did Tucker go so hard? I don't know, but Ted Cruz gave him a whole lot of openings, and he went in there. Tucker Carlson made Ted Cruz look like garbage. I don't think you'll see Ted Cruz around Tucker Carlson anytime soon. What's wrong with being called the taco? I don't know. Many people follow that and think that way, though. Yeah, they do. And we normally call them extremists when they're doing it on the side of the Islamics. But all of a sudden, when you're doing it in the name of Christianity, it's okay. It's the same damn thing. You're using religion as a reason to go to war. I thought the Christians ended that shit years ago. Wow. So we're no better than the Middle East. I mean, really, we are literally no better than the Middle East. He might as well just yell out Allah Akbar, or better yet, God bless America and no place else. Anyway, going back to the box, tap the screen, get the likes up to 35,000. Can't believe that man would say that. I cannot believe that. Dencal, welcome to the program. The Bible says defend Israel. What say you, Dencal? Good evening.
Man, that was horrible, man. That was horrible to see an American senator sitting up there saying, we owe allegiance to Israel no matter what the hell they do.
Yeah. Here's my, you agree with me? This should be far more viral than the other video of him.
Right. This is the first time I seen it. When you showed it, when I seen the other video 15 times.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he said this crazy shit.
I don't understand it. It's up in the comments. Luigi asked me, have I had MAGA up? No, but that's coming probably next. I'm dying to, I want to hear anybody that support Trump. I want to hear the explanation for that. I'm sure there are people who defend it, but what's the difference between that and Islamic extremists? I don't see any difference.
And the crazy part is, like, he said it with such conviction, like he don't give a damn how many people they over there slaughtering. We got to stand with them no matter what they do.
Yeah.
And we just heard, you should have played the mashup of Netanyahu when they got him going through the years, every couple of years.
Yes.
Saying, yeah, we got to stop him now because it's going to be 3 to 6 months. It might be a week. It might be a year, but we got to stop. Every time he's been saying it every couple of years since like 1979.
To me, it just sounds like some way, somehow, Netanyahu has convinced us to do his bidding for him. He's found a big brother that has a lot more power, and he's somehow convinced us to follow him into any conflict. I mean, Trump's only been in office for around 5 months. Since that period of time, the Israelis have went into Gaza, which some of that was self-defense in the beginning. It's no longer self-defense, but they've went into Gaza, they've went into the West Bank, they've went into Syria, they've went into Yemen. Now they're in Iran. I mean, they literally are using Trump as a reason to hash every grievance they've ever had. I mean, what's next? Egypt? I mean, they're attacking every damn body.
Right, but I disagree with saying we. This is a Trump thing. He outmaneuvered Trump because he knew Trump had meetings set up to continue negotiations with Iran. He forced Trump's hand by going in without him. So he knew that there were people like the senator and other people in Congress that were going to be up Trump's ass telling him, you got to help them. Because he was pissed off. But
helping them would have been helping them get the hostages back from Gaza. They've attacked a bunch of new countries since Trump has been around. All of these countries they went into, they're coming up with reasons to fight. Literally to attack everybody that they've ever had a grievance with. Looks like.
Right, because Why? Because they finally, all of these dictators and these despots and all of these people, they finally got a president in the United States that they can outmaneuver, that they can force to do things. This is perfect for all of the dictators around the world. This is a perfect situation because he's a taco. He chickens out about everything. He doesn't really have a foreign policy plan that's written in stone that he lives by. He doesn't have an ethos that he cares about. Now he's been put in this fucked up situation. He knows he can't go against Netanyahu because, why? Because we got all of these.
Does Netanyahu have something else over him?
What Ted Cruz said, yes, the Bible.
Is Trump really that Christian though?
He's not Christian, but he understands leverage. He understands that all of those people that voted for him, the what is the evangelicals?
Yeah.
He understands like that. That's a big part of his base. All of that going over there doing the Abraham Accords with the UAE and Qatar, like they was really making peace in the Middle East.
But then I gotta ask you, what you're saying is really concerning, then, Cal, because if he's caving to the evangelicals and doing their bidding, where does that shit end? Because, the Bible talks about every damn thing from slavery to anti-LGBTQ. The Bible is, I know I'm going to get attacked by some of my beloved MAGA, and this is where you can criticize me and we'll talk about it, but the Bible is damn near a document of white supremacy. Where does it end?
He's literally playing like whack-a-mole. He doesn't have an ethos. He doesn't have like an ideology that he belongs to and believes in. Right now, you got all of these, and I hate to say it, and people are gonna say all it, but he's got all of these Jewish investors, these people that have backed him up, Peter Thiel, and it's a whole bunch of them. The Project 2025 people, all of those people are in his ear right now, trying to hold him together, trying to keep him in the situation room because they know the more voice he listens to, he can't concentrate. So they're trying to keep him.
But why won't Congress be in his ear? Because Congress don't have to beg him. If they get their shit together, they can make him. So why aren't they in his ear?
2 words: Schumer and Johnson. Schumer is a Jewish person. He is totally 100%. We got to back the Jews. He's almost like Ted Cruz.
Oh my God.
I hate to say it, but that's what he is. And Ron Johnson, he going along. He's been, devout Christian, all of that stuff. What we are going to is beyond anything a lot of the MAGA ever expected. Because a lot of MAGA, real MAGAs, are not Christians. They're not religious people.
I don't know about that. But before you go into that, my last caller suggested that he believed that there's going to be at least almost a dozen liberals that side with Trump if he goes into Iran. Now, you're naming Schumer and Johnson. Do you agree with him that a bunch of liberals?
Yes, it's enough liberals who are on the AIPAC train they full steam ahead, bro. They've been like this forever. We just never got put in a situation because no other president has allowed Netanyahu the leeway to go ahead and do something like this. Every president, even Biden was like, hey, we 100%, that's our best ally. We down with them for 4 flat tires. But when it got to the end, when the war started, what did Biden start saying? Wait, hold on a second. We got to start withholding some of these heavy weapons.
Well, if what you're saying, if there's accuracy to what you're saying, we told Zelensky he was flirting with World War III. It sounds like it's us. If we're gonna ride the Jewish wave wherever they take it, they're going to go after damn near everybody in the Middle East that has ever criticized them, as long as they got the might of the United States behind them. This is a time for them to settle every score they've ever had, and most of the Middle East does not like them. So we could literally find ourselves dealing with multiple enemies simultaneously.
It has always been us. We have been the sole reason behind keeping Israel from doing what they're doing now. Every president has had to hold back Netanyahu because he's been talking this shit forever. He finally got a president that he could outmaneuver and get into a war that now we can't really back off from. This is the first time.
We can back off from this. Trump has enough undying support that if he said this might be a bridge too far, right now we got Iran contained, we don't need to attack them. MAGA ain't going. You think MAGA would leave him?
I think enough would leave him that would put him in such a terrible situation if he even makes it to the midterms. I'm sure he's got a lot of people in his ear telling him, look, dude, don't do, even the few people we heard from yesterday, a couple of days ago, your MAGA people saying that's a bridge too far. It is enough of them out there saying we did not vote for this. We voted for the no wars and the peace, and he don't like death, and that's what they voted for. And even though I don't believe they're compassionate or empathetic people, that seems like a bridge too far.
So does this happen, in your opinion, does this happen or not? Are we going to use a bunker buster or Moab, a couple of them? Are we going to end up bombing Iran? Do you think we're going to do that?
I say no.
I say yes.
I say no. I think the longer this goes on, he's looking for a way out. He's looking for a way out. That's why he keeps holding on, saying, I'm thinking about it, I might do it, I'm thinking about, I gotta hold on, anything can change. He's looking for a reason not to do it.
Did you hear the report I played from CBS earlier?
That he's heard war plans and stuff?
That he authorized them.
Yeah, he authorized the war plan, but he said, don't do it until I give you the word. He's looking for a reason. Why authorize it and then come tell everybody you authorized it?
Well, that ain't. Let me play, because I don't think he didn't say don't do it until I give you the word. I want you to hear it.
News White House reporter Aaron Navarro joins us now. Aaron, it's good to see you. What's the latest from President Trump on whether the U.S. will join this conflict between Israel and Iran?
Yeah, Meg, I actually want to start by sharing some reporting that we just got from our colleague James Laporta, who said, according to a senior intelligence source and a Defense Department official, that President Trump approved on Tuesday night of attack plans for Iran, but did not make a final decision in case Iran agreed to abandon its nuclear program.
Now, we know Iran is not going to abandon shit. They've made that clear. So if that's the only thing pending an attack, Iran has made it clear they're not going to bow down.
Right. So why didn't we do it yet?
It ain't night. Maybe because it's not night yet. You know we always strike at night. This was just approved yesterday. So you know the freaks come out at night. So either tonight or tomorrow, you're probably gonna have a party.
Maybe so. I believe he's looking for a way out. He may not get it, but as stubborn as he is, he may just change his mind and just not do it. But authorizing the plans, coming out on TV saying, we authorized the plan, but I'm holding up, that's not, bro, when you get ready to authorize a mission like that, you don't give up the operational detail. You don't even tell them the
time. I get all of that. And I seen the comments, Successful MD said his name should be Donald Maggot Putin. I just want to say this. Successful MD is crazy, but I will just say this. We're pondering whether or not we're going to go to war with Iran. In my opinion, like you and I, we talked last night about this. We already are at war with them. The only reason it hasn't become full blown is Iran hasn't responded to what we've done so far the way we would have responded. We've been shooting down their missiles. We're giving the Israelis surveillance of what's going. For us, that would already have been an act of war, and we would have already taken some kind of offense to a country doing that. So we've already crossed the threshold of what is an act of war. You're shooting down their missiles. So what else is there?
Look, there's a lot for him to mull over, and it's not as simple as Trump making the decision to do it. Because what he's got to understand is we got about 30 bases over there in the Middle East, and none of them have the Iron Dome.
Right.
And they have thousands of missiles. Yes, they're dumb missiles. They're not laser guided and none of that stuff. But look,
Didn't they hit us before where they gave people all kinds of brain damage and ear issues? Didn't they blow up some places like that with Americans on them?
Yes, they did. They had to go into the fallout shelters and they got concussions from. Yes.
And Trump tried to say nobody was hurt. And Trump tried to say nobody was hurt or injured.
Right. He said they had some headaches. Yeah.
From a fucking, he says you got a fucking bomb explode. You just got a headache. You'll be all right.
Yeah. I mean, these people had TBIs. They had to get out of the military because their heads was fucked up. That's a piece of shit for you. But, you know,
some headaches.
Just for the record, Trump ain't shit. That's what.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right, then, Cal. So
a big problem we're about to have if it happens the way you think. I'm hoping and I'm saying that he doesn't do it. But if he does do it, we go right back. We become this is Iraq 2.0. This is Iraq 2.0.
Wait. I gotta push back a little bit. We were in Iraq 20 years and all of that, but when we went into Iraq, one of the reasons Iraq lasted so damn long is because we didn't take the approach of let's just turn it into a sheet of glass. Trump is not going to be as tiptoe-ish like you had during the Bush administration, you know, trying to avoid blowing up mosques and trying to avoid innocent casualties. He going in there with Netanyahu. That's like Suge Knight going into the town. I mean, they don't care about innocent people. So I don't think it'll last that long. I think Trump.
I don't see it the same way. I don't see it the same way as you do. Like Trump is like, yes, we got to give him credit for being unpredictable and stuff like that, but he cannot have a full-on Middle East war. It's one thing about dropping a couple of bunker busters. It's another thing you talking about going in there and laying out the whole damn country. That ain't about to happen.
Well, wait a minute. Think about what you just said. Let me tell you why I say that. If we lay bunker busters and then they start attacking some of our assets in that region, like you pointed out, that do not have Iron Dome protection, we got bases all over the Middle East that are easy to hit. Once you start actually taking the life of American troops, he's going to step up and escalate what he's doing to Iran.
Yeah, look, I get it, but you're talking about that's a big ass country, man. It's not just like
I get it.
Yeah, and even they talking about even if we do the bunker busters, they talking about we still have to put boots on the ground to go verify.
Israel, if I'm correct, I heard that Israel has already committed that once we use the bunker busters, they're willing to put boots on the ground to verify it's destroyed. As long as we got Israel on our side, you're talking about it's a big ass country. As long as we keep giving Israel weapons and they got control of the air, Israel will bomb every inch of that country. They don't care. Schools, hospitals, you name it.
I understand that, but they got to do it. Now it's going to go through the American Congress because then all of that's got to be funded. So there are certain checks in there, and I get what you're saying, and I'm not totally against that because we in an unpredictable situation. But I just don't think Trump has the wherewithal to go into this full-blown situation. I just don't. I think he's been president all this time. It's been fun. You know, he's been dealing with this stuff. You seen how he dealt with the last time when, like you said, when Iran threw them bombs over there and hurt our troops after he had said if they do anything, they're going to have hell to pay. What did he do? He walked away and said our people just had headaches. Like he's not a war guy. He's not that dude. He likes to play around with all of these people and do all of this, you know, all of this stuff with the immigrants and stuff. But he's not a wartime president, man. We would be screwed. They're already talking about the Ayatollah is thinking about awakening some of his cells that are in America right now.
Really?
Some of his sleeper cells. Yeah. You think all of this time they don't got sleeper cells in this damn country? Yeah. Since 9/11, since
my guess is if we keep getting out of hand following Israel down this path, you're gonna have. I mean, you got white people in this country that don't like what's going on. You got a lot of these folks that are talking about, that are pro-Hamas. A lot of white liberals are down. I mean, you might have sleeper cells that turn out to be Americans. I mean, people feel like innocent people are being killed.
Right, they already talking about Netanyahu. Already talking about the two people that tried to unalive the president were sent by
That's
by
insane.
Iran.
Yeah, that's insane.
Just think, now think he has the Mossad, which is up there with our CIA. Now, if he's saying this shit out loud, either he playing Trump or he knows some shit.
Yeah.
Either way, it's not good.
Yeah, my guess is just like when Russia had convinced Trump that they knew more about what was going on than our NSA. I believe that Netanyahu, which is why Trump is going with what Netanyahu is saying versus Tulsi Gabbard, he's doing it again. He's choosing their intelligence agencies over our own. I believe he's doing it again. But then, Cal, you know what I got to do. But I hope you are wrong. I mean, I hope that I'm wrong and you're right, that you're saying he won't do it. But, man.
I just got one more thing for you. Sure. I want you to look up and play for your audience Netanyahu sitting in front of our national security people telling them that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. Back in the day, he was the first person that told us that they had weapons of mass destruction. We went in there to Iraq on his word.
You ever see some guy, maybe you knew in the hood or something like that normally would be a cool dude, but his bitch is always getting him in fights, always telling him stuff to create. That's what Netanyahu comes across like, man, you need to get rid of this bride, man. She's always telling you shit to create drama. So you want him to go out and kick somebody's ass because of what you're like, you need to get rid of that girl. That's what Netanyahu is starting to come across like. But I gotta move it on.
You can't go to the party almost naked, and then when somebody try to talk to you, and you tell them you got a boyfriend, and they cuss you out, you can't run back to your boyfriend and tell him, he tried to get with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of brothers that are spending the rest of their lives in prison or pushing up daisies because they listened to the wrong bride. Didn't Cal, appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, trying to defend the honor of a woman that don't deserve it. Looking in the comments real quick, I want to see if I can find
no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever. The nuclear-armed Saddam will place the security of our entire world at risk. And make no mistake about it, if and once Saddam has nuclear weapons, the terror network will have nuclear weapons.
That's exactly what they're doing now on Iran. I mean, you can pretty much just replace Saddam or replace Iraq with Iran, and he's literally saying the same thing again. That dude is literally convincing us to fight his battles to give him dominance in the region. Wow. Unbelievable. Tap the screen, by the way. Get me on up to 50,000. I'll take the next caller. Real quick, just to get a spiel before I read a few of the comments. We don't block, ban, or censor. We are MAGA friendly. Despite some of the politics you hear, we believe in letting everybody from all sides speak. You can be critical of anyone on this program, up to and including the host. No one is off limits. We go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having a dinner with Q. So if you enjoy civilized dialogue without the censorship, you are in the right place. I'm going to ask that you follow the program if you're currently watching on Clapper or TikTok. And if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to give your boy a subscription. Going straight to the box. How many of you folks saw that interview between Tucker Carlson where Ted Cruz did not even know the demographics of Iran? And Tucker Carlson just shamed the shit out of him. Now, obviously, many of you didn't see that part where Ted Cruz is also saying Christianity is making him go and attack a nation. That's wild. Jeremy, welcome to the program. Yeah, but people shouldn't be threatening other people because of their opinions. I'm agreeing with you there, high priest, but I mean, that's kind of the way things go on this planet. Especially in politics. That's kind of what happens. Jeremy, good evening.
Hey, how you doing, Sam?
I'm doing good. What the hell is going on? You're MAGA. What's up with your boy, man?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, Mossad's got him by the balls. So I don't like it at all. I'm glad he's supporting Mexicans, though. Fuck him.
So, wait, you say that again? What did you just
I'm glad
say?
he's supporting Mexicans, though, so fuck him.
You're glad he's deporting Mexicans. Why are you? Oh my, you had to throw some shit like that in there. Why are you glad he's deporting Mexicans? You may need them in the military. Remember, we have given folks residency if they're willing to fight in the military. I'm going to tell you something. Normally, when we have a draft, hopefully we don't come to that, but normally when we have a draft, they start getting minorities first. You don't kick all the Mexicans out, and the black folks ain't gonna want to do it. You see how they were marching in D.C. So maybe you might want to call a few of those Mexicans back.
I didn't watch the D.C. march, so I can't say for sure about that. But no, we don't need Mexicans.
What do you got against Mexicans?
Correction, we don't need illegal Mexicans because they don't love our country. If they did, they'd come in the right way. Like I did. Like I did when I was an infant.
You came in from Mexico?
Colombia.
You Hispanic and you talking that shit? Really?
Yep, 100%. And by the way, my dream is to watch an ice raid with a bucket of popcorn and a bottle of gin.
Who raised you? Why are you? Wait a minute. What are you, like the villain on Inspector Gadget with that? Okay, why do you have a problem with them?
Why do I have a problem with them? Okay, let's do one alphabetically or chronologically.
Give me your best shot.
Okay, number one, they suppress wages by flooding the market with cheap labor.
Okay, Colombians do too.
I know. That's why I want anyone who's illegally in the country to get fucked. Bye. You can leave now.
What you essentially did is damn near the same thing.
And Asians.
What you essentially
Europeans and Asians.
What you essentially are doing is the same thing the white man did. You came in the country and shut the door behind you, so you can't. So other people can't come in like you. That's what it sounds like.
I'm so sick of that lame ass argument. Oh my god, it's so pathetic.
Clear it up for me. Clear it up.
When America was founded, it was not land we weren't immigrants, we were conquerors. Okay, and why does that matter? Because every country did that, and every single Native American tribe did that too. Okay, they conquered each other, they enslaved each other. It is the peaceful savage myth is just that. It's a myth.
That's not okay. I would partially agree with you, but we weren't just conquerors, Jeremy. I mean, fact is, they did let us in, and we turned into untrustworthy house guests. We didn't show up on the shores with cannons and just blow our way in the country and conquer it. We showed up pretending like we were friends, and then we took their kindness for their weakness and then fucked them over. So that ain't exactly how you normally conquer somebody.
I mean, it depends on the group, but most of them hated us right from the beginning and saw us as invaders.
Yeah, it sounded like they had a good reason to feel that way.
Well, no, I don't. Hey, listen, I don't blame them. I'm just saying it's not like it was this. It's like these peace-loving kumbaya singing natives were just sitting around, in a circle jerk and just talking about how great life is. They were like slaughtering each other. Do you have any idea how many people the Aztecs murdered? It is absolutely horrifik.
Okay,
and they would enslave other tribes into their tribes and rape their women and all sorts of horrible stuff. Now, so to me, I see what we now. Do I think it's okay when Americans do it or when the Europeans do it? Nah. But the way I see it, America is a country that is great because of who we are now and who we have been becoming for a long time. A self-patient nation that isn't afraid.
So you look at these.
Black History Month. I like Black History Month, and I like a lot of these months where we talk about the atrocities of America because what makes America great is its ability to improve.
You do? Isn't tomorrow? Speaking of Black History Month, isn't tomorrow Juneteenth?
Juneteenth, yeah.
Yeah, you like that one too, right?
Yeah, I don't mind that one at all. I never thought that was a a big deal.
Okay.
I'm too broke to celebrate it, but hey, that's all right.
I gotta work tomorrow too, but I had a show the year Biden made that a holiday. I think 2021 or whatever. I did a show on that day, and man, it was a whole lot of MAGA that was like, it's a bullshit holiday. We don't need it. MAGA was not a big fan of that Juneteenth at all, man. Because I was asking him, like, if you work for the federal government or you got a decent employer, you get the day off too. Why are you so upset about this? MAGA did not like Juneteenth. Right.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, I think it's more like Tribe A and Tribe B at that point. Yeah, where it's like, my tribe good, your tribe bad, your tribe promoted this. I'm willing to give credit where credit is due. If the left does something that I think is right, I'll go with it.
Here's what ironic about that, Jeremy, is that you often hear the Republican Party chastising the left, saying that your party is the party of slavery and the Jim Crow South and all of that, talking about the Democrats or the party of the KKK. So you're going to take credit for freeing the slaves, but then push back against the holiday that designates it. Does that make any sense at all?
Again, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be team me, anti-team you. That's all it is. It's teams. And the left does this just as much. I mean, come on. Like there's been plenty of things that that they should have liked that Trump has done that they would just say is evil.
What has Trump done that the left should be liking?
Well, he actually has a bill that he's looking at right now where a lot of people who have come here illegally but have not committed any other crimes outside of illegally entering the country, so essentially trespassing, can be put at the front of the line and for re-entering the nation.
Wait. He has a bill. Okay, if you came to the country and you're here, illegally?
Yes. But you haven't committed any other crimes while here.
I haven't heard about this bill. What is that bill called? If you're in the country illegally, hold on. If you're in the country illegally, I'm under the impression that Trump and Tom Homan want you gone. There's nothing you can do to get in the front of the line. What bill are you talking about?
It has to do with farmers, I believe, actually. Giving them a lot of forgiveness. Now, I have to look at the exact.
Yeah, you got to find
the bill. I forgot.
You got to find. The problem is when you say that Trump is doing things the liberals should favor. What Trump tells you he's going to do today may be totally different than what he tells you he's going to do tomorrow. You can't really depend on him to remain consistent because he was talking about if you're in the country illegally, that means you're a criminal, you need to go. Then he started talking about what farmers and hotels have said we're losing good workers, so we're going to rethink the aggressive policies. And then he rescinded that. So, same thing with the tariffs. One day the tariffs are here, the next day they're here. He's saying, well, I'm not going to suspend them 90 days. Then he does it. You can't jump up and down and get a guy credit for anything he does because you don't know if it's actually going to happen or not.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I especially agree with you when it comes to how he's treating Israel and Iran and how he flip-flops on that. I was actually kind of proud of him for going at after Netanyahu and not being like his friend for a while, but then he flips script and starts saying, "You need to protect Israel from the scary bomb. It's pointy and it might hurt somebody."
Well, yeah. I mean, at this point, Trump is the best president the Israelis, certainly Netanyahu, has ever seen. I don't know any president from Bush. I mean, I don't know how far Netanyahu goes pretty far back, but I don't think anybody we've had, because Trump is pretty much just blindly following the guy. And before we continue, Dennis Calhoun says, Black History Month is not about the atrocities. It's about the contributions from the African Americans to our society. Yeah, but the atrocities end up getting discussed. I mean, if you're going to talk about contributions from slaves and things like that, what happened to them and what they went through is likely to come up. Go ahead. What do you say, Jeremy?
I said it's both.
Yeah.
It's both. Black History Month is both. And I don't think it should be. And just like how I think, here's the thing. I think you can be proud to be German, a German living in Germany, and still acknowledge the Holocaust. I don't think you have to have one or the other. I think there should be marches for German pride in Germany, and in a Holocaust memorial that they also remember.
I mean, to me, here's what I don't understand. When the majority group walks around talking about how proud, I mean, like in Germany, what percentage of the population is German? Probably 85, 90%. You're walking down talking about German pride, like you the only motherfucker that's here. I mean, like the majority is walking down the street talking about German pride. That almost looks frightening to some degree.
I don't care. I don't care if people are sensitive about that. To me, you have the right to be proud of who or where you come from. Like even people who come from even people who come from like places like Iraq or Iran or Saudi Arabia, who have a lot of dark history under their belts, they have the right to be proud of that. I don't feel bad about that at all.
No, I don't like. Listen, if you're in America and you're talking about you're proud to be German, that's one thing. But if you're in Germany doing it, I mean, you're like almost everybody there is you. So I don't see the relevance of it other than maybe throwing it in the face of the few minorities that are roaming around.
No. Okay, so I think you have I think because of gay pride, you have a misunderstanding of what pride should be. Pride doesn't have to just be, oh, I'm the minority, but I'm proud even though I'm the minority. It's not just supposed to be adversarial against the majority. It's also supposed to be for everybody. Everyone has the right to be proud.
I get your point. I guess the reason why it's coming across that way is because you do have a lot of people that have used pride as a reason to basically be awful to other people. I mean, we know a lot of people in America that if you hear the term white pride, it doesn't make you think of a bunch of happy-go-lucky white people. I mean, there's a lot of people in this country that have used that. Like when you hear James Brown say, I'm black and I'm proud, the same images don't come to mind. I mean, there's a lot of hate groups that use white pride. So when you start talking about white people that are proud to be white, that's going to come to mind.
I know that's going to come to mind, and I don't think white pride will ever take on a strong foothold in the United States. But I think proud to be from a specific European heritage is able to be taking hold in the United States. And I also think that it should be able to happen in Spain, in Portugal, in Italy, in Germany, in France, everywhere. I think it should be allowed. I think it's a good thing. I think that there's a difference between what people think of nationalism and what nationalism actually is. And nationalism is actually a good thing.
Before we continue, I want to respond to John Lendigan on YouTube. He says most of the chat is Republicans. That's a good thing. I've been trying to get more MAGA, so my YouTube audience is mostly right because my TikTok audience is mostly left. So if I got mostly Republicans on the YouTube side, I'm happy with that. Like I said, I like to have a healthy group of all sides. So if I got a bunch of MAGA and Republicans on the YouTube side, hooray. But so I see somebody say that's only on YouTube. Yeah, King Finn, I wish I could get some of my MAGA audience to go and come up on Clapper or Instagram or better yet on TikTok. But if I got them on YouTube, and Michael Rice says TikTok is for kids. Do you see it that way, Jeremy? The TikTok is for kids?
It evolved it started as that, but there's this thing called evolution. I don't know if he's ever heard about it. You know, come on.
What, you said he's a knuckle dragger? You said he's a knuckle dragger?
I didn't say that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. He needs to realize most of the right-wing heroes like Trump are on TikTok. I mean, they all have pages. Yeah. So, I mean, Trump gives TikTok credit for how he won the campaign. So think about that. That was the first reason when Trump decided to extend TikTok and not let it go down. He said it helped me win. You know, so the main kids that did that. So you may need to think about that. And I see Alicia says, no, TikTok sucks. Why do they hate TikTok? Why does your side hate TikTok so much, Jeremy?
Oh, I don't really know. Personally, I think that there are problems with TikTok. I think there are problems in like the way the algorithm is set up. And, you know, every app has its niche. I think TikTok is not good for long form videos, while YouTube is. And I have seen more deep intellectual conversations happen on YouTube, probably because it has the format for that, where you can post long essays on there versus TikTok, which is more short form. Yeah. But at the same time, there's golden nuggets like this, like TikTok lives. TikTok lives.
Yeah, I really wish I could bring guests up live on YouTube. I can't. That's why I'm on Clapper and on TikTok right now. And by the way, maybe some of you MAGA folks don't have a problem with Clapper. I've tried to do it on X. I can't, and even Rumble. I had an associate from Rumble call me, but I don't think MAGA uses Rumble as much anymore. But I have a Rumble account. I just haven't went live on it in a while. So I'm trying to find MAGA where they're at, but they have a very selective choice. I mean, I need to call Trump. I need you to promote an app, man, because that's where your people are going to go.
But hey, at least you got me.
All right. So before I move it on from you, how do you feel about Ted Cruz suggesting that the Bible is what is giving us the inclination to defend Israel? He's citing the actual Bible.
So here's how I look at that. Ted Cruz, I think, is a legitimate evangelical, but evangelicals are zealots.
Yeah,
they're zealots, and that zealots are a little hoo-hoo. You know, I'm agnostic, but I used to be Catholic, and even Catholics would look at you and be like, "What are you talking about? Israel's a secular state. Like, what is this?" They would do that. Here's my solution to the whole thing. Be a security force in the Middle East, but let both Iran and Israel develop a nuclear program.
What about what I said earlier? How the Second Amendment crowd says a polite society, an armed society is a polite society, suggesting that if everybody has a firearm, people won't fuck with each other. They'll all be polite. What about a world where everybody has a nuclear weapon? An armed world is a polite world.
Yeah, I'd agree. Let Iran and Israel both get protected by the United States until they both finish their nuclear programs. Let them both have weapons. I don't give a fuck after that. And I know people are going to be like, but Iran will do this, or Israel is like, here's the thing. I see both sides as equally shit. I am not someone who thinks that the people who have been talking about like free Palestine are good people. I think a lot of them were already anti-Semites who probably secretly fawn over Hitler in their spare time, but now have an excuse to look legitimate when they do it. But I also see the people who are pro destroying Iran and the Israel zealots as no better. I see them as people who are racist against Arabs, who hate Muslims as a whole. And they wanted to destroy Iran and just do whatever Israel wanted and destroy all their enemies. And personally, I just think they should both have nukes so nobody messes with each other. And I think the United States should be the reasonable big brother that says, nope, you're both done fighting. We're not helping either one.
The problem is, though, if every country has nukes, we go from dominance to a world of equality. And I think that's what America would not like. We're on top right now because we do have supreme firepower. If everybody starts having nukes, now we no longer have power over people. We can't control people like we've been doing. And like I said, we go from supremacy to equality.
Economically, we will.
I don't know about that because a lot of our power economically is due to our military might. I mean, we're a huge exporter of weapons too. If everybody got nuclear weapons, then you don't need our weapons export drops in value because people are not going to be attacking countries that have nuclear weapons.
Well, let me ask you this. How is Russia nuclear powered? Do they have nuclear arms?
Plenty.
Yep. And what did the Biden administration want to do? They wanted us to get involved with the war with Russia and Ukraine.
Well, we were giving arms to the Ukraine. We didn't put any boots on the ground.
Oh, come on, Tim. Can we be so for real? He wanted us to escalate to actually be having a hot war with Russia.
I can't confirm that. I didn't see that. I did not see where Biden wanted to put American boots on the ground in the Ukraine. I mean, in fact, there were certain weapons we weren't even giving the Ukrainians under the Biden administration until Biden lost. He started giving them a little bit of extra shit toward the end of his term, but he wasn't even giving them everything he could have. If he really wanted to defeat Russia, he could have gave the Ukrainians access to F-35s and all. I mean, he wasn't even giving them aircraft for a while. So I don't see it. I don't see it based on his actions.
It was going to happen, but I'll just leave you with this, okay? So I personally think that if the world had more nukes, America would still be dominant militarily. And I think that the best thing we can do as Americans is, number one, keep deporting the Mexicans. Bye.
Now you're laughing like Tucker Carlson. But go ahead.
And anyone else who's illegally in the country, and that includes Europeans, Asians, and all the Latinos that are illegally in the country. Anyway, but we should also do things like we should bring manufacturing back to the United States. I know it would take a while, but it is a worthwhile pursuit because China is not our friend. We need to get rid of unnecessary government waste. A lot of that has to do with construction and infrastructure. We don't do a good job of policing how things get done and how much we pay construction companies to build our infrastructure, right? And we need to once again get rid of things like Social Security because it's a Ponzi scheme.
Okay. Well, we disagree on some of that, and I'll tell you this. In regards to we need to bring manufacturing back because China's not a friend of ours. If we get rid of China, the capitalists in this country are just going to find another cheap country. They'll go to the Philippines. They'll go to Africa somewhere. They'll just find another country where they have cheap labor. They're not going to pay you and I a decent salary. That's been the goal from day one. That's why you got all these immigrants. That's why you got call centers everywhere. They're not going to go back to hiring us just because you got rid of China. They'll find somebody else cheaper to work, or they'll find another politician that'll allow it to continue. Jeremy, thanks for coming through.
Absolutely. See you around, Tim.
Same. He says deport the Mexicans. That man is deport the Mexicans. Wow. He was serious about that. Bring manufacturing back to the U.S. where everyone wants to make $100,000 a year. A pencil will cost $25. Yeah. And that, well, the $100,000, I get the parity on that, but you are correct, Doug Allen, is that I think it's pretty clear that our employers in this country, the capitalists in this country with all the money, does not want to pay the working class a decent wage. I bring up all the time how the minimum wage has remained the same for a couple decades now. It took the pandemic to make minimum wage go up. That's what it took. If you look at the minimum wage over the last 20 years, you can see the pandemic in there because they had to do something to incentivize people to come back to work. But before the pandemic hit, people were still working for $8-9 an hour in 2019. So, yeah, I just don't know. I cannot imagine we're going to get rid of all of the immigrants and we're going to throw Americans out in the field and expect them to pick berries and shit and shuck corn and cabbage and shit. And you're going to give them remember the Hispanics make that stuff work because they're living 10 to a house. Americans don't want to live like that. Americans are just not about that life. I don't see it happening. My guess is they'll try it for a minute and it'll be just like Trump has already came forward and said that we're deporting people that can't be replaced. Didn't he just say that last week? That the hotel industry and in the farming industry is telling them you're being too damn aggressive. You're getting rid of people we need. Americans aren't going to do those jobs. They're just not because they can't live off of that. Trump made it sound like he's going to fix the economy. You're going to be able to afford shit and live the American dream. You're not going to be able to live the American dream doing those jobs. They're not designed for that. Looking in the comments, yes, they do go in certain hoods. I don't get what you're saying there. We should be focused on fighting out how to work together in all things. We will never make it long term without ending the barriers that prevent people from being the best human they can be. I don't disagree with you there, Richardson, but I always say, Tim Richardson, leadership starts at the top. And when you're talking about unity and us coming together and all of this shit, do you really believe the current leadership in this country is promoting unity? Do you see that when you look at President Trump and his administration? Do you see the goal being everybody to come together? So the people are not going to unite under a divisive government. That's just not going to happen. The only way we're going to unite under a divisive government is for that government to do something that we all unilaterally, we all hate in unison. That's the word I'm looking for. That's the only way we're going to unite under a divisive government. Is for the government to do something so bad that we all agree it's bad, and we need to unite in getting rid of the government. We're not there yet. MAGA still loves Trump. So we're not going to get unity because we didn't elect a unifier. We can talk about Biden if you want. You can talk about Obama, whatever the case may be. If you want to suggest that they weren't unifier, whatever you want to bring up about the liberals, but that doesn't defend Trump. And Biden is gone. Trump's the president now. So bringing up Biden doesn't make any difference at all. Trump is not running no unity. Looking in the comments, and I see exactly what somebody did too. We all united on Biden after the debate. Yeah, we united on the notion that Biden needed to step down, but we didn't unite on the notion that Trump needed to fill a position. After the MAGA business owners pushed back, he announced they will focus on blue cities. Yeah, that blue city, red city stuff, and calling whole cities shitholes and stuff like that. That's just not how unity works. Before we go back to the box, tap the screen, get me on up to about 65,000. THOU. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. And what we're discussing today, once again, is the notion that an attack on Iran is likely, at least in my humble opinion. I've had a few guests that says maybe not. I don't buy it. I mean, I brought up his what do you want to call her? What is Tulsi Gabbard's position again? She's intelligence, director of intelligence. I believe that's her position. Now, Trump is saying that Iran is about to get their hands on an atomic weapon. This is Tulsi Gabbard, his own director of intelligence, March. So you're talking 3 months ago.
Iran's cyber operations and capabilities also present a serious threat to U.S. networks and data. The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.
Now, she's saying, as of March, that they're not doing what Trump is saying they're doing. Now, here's Trump on Air Force One. I believe this was yesterday or the day before, being asked, considering that he's telling everybody that they're trying to develop a nuclear weapon, he's being asked by a reporter about Tulsi Gabbard saying exactly the opposite.
There we go, Max. It's called Max time.
You always said that you don't believe Iran should be able to have a nuclear weapon, but how close do you personally think that they were to getting one? Because Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
What she said, I think they were very close to having one.
His response was, I don't care what she said. I think they're very close to having one. So the obvious question I'm going to ask, and I'm going to discuss this with my next caller, whoever that may be, is if you don't trust your director of intelligence, being Tulsi Gabbard, because he made it clear, I don't care what she said, why the hell is she there? Why do you have a director of intelligence that you have no concern what's coming out of her mouth? You don't trust what she's saying. Why is she even there? Why not get rid of her? He pretty much just made her seem like she is inept, like she has no credibility. Why is she there? You're stating that they're developing a nuclear bomb. I guess the other follow-up question would be, where is Congress on this? Because if Tulsi is saying that they're not developing a nuclear bomb, and Trump is saying that they are, Congress should require both of them to come forward and prove what they're saying to get to the bottom of this shit. What has Trump seen that the director of intelligence has no access to? What is leading the president to say that they're doing something that the director of intelligence, whose job should be, working with the CIA and the NSA and all of those other agencies who do all of the spying and all of that shit, why is Tulsi Gabbard seeing something different than Trump? Trump should have to come before Congress. Both of them should. Show me why you're saying they're not developing it, Tulsi, and Trump, show me why you're saying they are. Now, I've brought this up many times in the program. Trump has a a huge benefit that most politicians do not enjoy. And that is, he doesn't have to prove stuff he says. I brought up him once saying Obama was wiretapping his office, or he won the 2020 election by a landslide, or they're eating pets in Springfield, Ohio. Nobody ever asked him to prove stuff. He says a bunch of wild stuff, and for the most part, no proof is required. Even a lot of the waste, fraud, and abuse that was found on behalf of Elon, there's been no evidence that that stuff is actually real. So he does have the benefit of he can say something and people just accept it at face value. But we should be wondering, why is Tulsi Gabbard saying the opposite? Then make her show evidence as to why she came to that conclusion. But moving on in with the program, I don't understand how you could not agree with the director of intelligence that you appointed. That doesn't make any sense to me. 250,000 at parade. I don't know what you mean. Oh, you really believe that, downtown Lottie, that parade that Trump had in DC, there was a 250,000 people attended that? You really believe that? Oh no, you're saying that that's something he said without any proof. I get it. Took me a moment. That went over my head. But you're right. That's another thing he said. He also said he had the largest inauguration in history back in 2016. He has the benefit of saying things and nobody requires to prove it. Because Tulsi Gabbard is DEI, says Richard Andrew Crosby. Well, then that's a problem. If you got an administration that's made it clear they want to get rid of DEI, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked before. Then why the hell is she there? Now you don't look thorough. Now you look like you're inconsistent. Continuing on with Chase Q. Good evening, Chase. Welcome to the program. He does, but they let him get away with BS. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't prove a lot of stuff. Chase, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, man, dude. I've listened to you for about 10 minutes now. I think you're a very rational person.
Thank you.
And just to let you know about me, just for 1 minute, I was stationed in Washington, D.C. for 3 years. I did communications for Secret Service and President Joe Biden. I know a good bit about what's going on. I'm a moderate that leans right. And I think we made a significant mistake in the Democratic Party that pushed people like me away.
Okay, before you go down there, I will start out by saying thank you for your service to our country. Absolutely. What did the Democratic Party do to push folks like yourself away?
Well, there's a number of things. I mean, you're gonna take this the way you take it.
We don't censor. Don't be concerned with how I take anything. It's an uncensored program. Okay. What you got?
Okay. So it's pretty, to me, how I interpret it. It is the radicalism against white men. You know, I mean, I live my own experiences. You don't live me. I don't live you.
True.
The way I am the demon, I am the guy that walks into the world, and I am portrayed the way that this guy hates me, and you don't even know me. The way I see, I mean, I quite literally worked for Joe Biden. I put in packages to get, you know, different types of things, and I saw the DEI was huge in the military. It was very, very big. And it although the fundamental grounds of it I agree with, it got to the point where it wasn't even respected.
Let me interrupt you and ask you, what is DEI in your opinion?
I think, well, okay, that's a pretty complex question. Let me go to the fundamentals of it, okay? I believe it's respecting people, all people, and mainly people of color, to be equal to everybody else. But it's targeted towards white people pretty much. It's like, hey, we're the same. I might be smarter than you, so I deserve the same chance, kind of thing. Do you agree with that?
Wait. It's targeted towards white people. So you're saying DEI is target. I guess you're trying to say it's a detriment to white people.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the best wording I can. It's like saying it's kind of vulgar to say. It's like, hey, big bad white man, these people are smarter than you, they're better than you, more qualified, they deserve the fair chance as you. Because there's numerous examples of unqualified, right? Like, yeah, I understand that. Like, that's been a part of our history. But then it pushed so far that it became the opposite of its goal. It's like, oh, on paper, without knowing gender, without knowing color, without knowing anything, okay, like this person's obviously better than this person.
How long is
gender and the skin? That's the reason why they won. You know,
you're the first person I've ever heard suggest that DEI is done from a standpoint of supremacy, or the person is more smarter or better. Usually I hear DEI means somebody who did not have the merit got a job they didn't deserve to get. You're saying that the person that got the job is suggesting that they're smarter and more efficient at the job. I've never heard that before.
Well, I'm trying to learn too. Not like a narcissist that's not trying to learn. Continue on that. Elaborate, please.
Well, let me just say this, because I've said this on the program many times before, is that we know DEI is I always say DEI is the American way. We're hearing about it now, but fact is, throughout America's history, from the day we were founded as a country, you already knew the next judge, the next school principal, the next police chief. You knew that person. You knew the next person to do that was going to be a white male. I mean, you could have a guy that's heading the police department now that's in his 40s, and he may have 20 more years that he's going to be around. You don't know who's going to replace him, but you already know it's going to be a white male. So the issue is, what I'm saying is, DEI has always been with us. The only issue now is it's not working for white males solely like it used to. And that's who is primarily complaining, is the people who used to be the sole beneficiaries of it. Whereas now, other people are getting jobs and actually getting a chance. But for the most part, throughout America's history, it didn't matter how much merit you had as a Hispanic woman or as a black, you weren't going to get the job. It's going to go to a white dude. You knew that already. So, and of course, obviously the white males weren't complaining about that at all. But now that it's starting to work for other people, guess who's complaining? White males. Anytime you hear somebody complaining about DEI, it's almost always a white male, because they used to be the ones benefiting from it.
Hey, I think you're right.
Okay.
I'm not arguing with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm arguing with America's defense when we put two slabs of piece of paper on someone's desk and they know, like, I could do majority, promise, you're right. I'm a moderate myself, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's not that I don't.
How do you, right? Let me ask you this. How do you, would you agreeing with me that we've been giving white people white men, it ain't even been women, it's just been the dudes. We've been giving white men the benefit of DEI for a couple hundred years or so. How do you right that wrong?
That wasn't DEI. That wasn't DEI.
Well, it's the same thing though. It's people getting positions based solely on traits that came from God. Has nothing to do with merit. If you were an African American or Hispanic person that had more merit than a white guy, you still weren't going to get the job. So it's exactly what they're calling DEI. It's just not called DEI. If a white male, let's say Pete Hegseth, many folks suggest that Pete Hegseth doesn't have a merit for that job. You wouldn't call it DEI though. What is it? Because if Pete Hegseth was a black person, they would be saying him in that position is DEI. So what is it called because he's white?
I have a deep bias towards military. Like, I have a lot of superiors that are black. And
do you think Hegseth is qualified for that job?
In my opinion, yes. I'm sorry to tell you that. Like, I do, with his military background, being Secretary of Defense, like, I do. I really do. But that's, I mean, being in the military, I am biased, but I also understand the complexities of the rank, the career, is MOS, everything he's done, but that's me, that's not everybody else.
Well, let me ask, now the guy was caught using an unsecure app to discuss war plans. You do realize the average person in the military would face all sorts of discipline for that.
100% right. Like we use Signal for the most part, deeply encrypted, deeply used. I mean, I'm not going to deny a man's fucking sins and mistakes. Like, I mean, that's horrible. Like, I'm not telling you that's not wrong, but at the same time, do I feel like we've had that for the past 20 years? Like, I can go into Democratic presidencies. I can go in, we can go into this stuff. I'm not telling you you're wrong, kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. I mean, if you think he has a merit, I mean, people were suggesting that people were saying that he was a major in the National Guard. Now he's over the entire military. You really think he has the merit for that, huh?
I think we're going to find out, to be honest. I think we're 6-7 months deep. I would love to hop back on in 2 years and we're like, oh shit, he was a horrible choice. But for right now, and that's when we get to Israel, Iran, Palestine, Israel, Ukraine, Russia. Like, dude, obviously, it's deep. Everything I said is very deep. It's all like, okay, first of all, once you get into the presidential chair, it's a different ball game. It really is. Okay. It's a different ball game. You got to play lovey-dovey like people do to Trump. You got to play, hey, I like you. Hey, I've seen bureaucracy on the middle level, probably, but
I don't think you got to play lovey-dovey like you do to Trump with most other presidents. I mean, I think there were plenty of liberals that were criticizing Biden. I mean, there were conservatives that criticized Bush. I think with Trump, it's something different. I mean, with most of the other politicians, if you criticize them, they let it roll off their back. Trump will actively engage you with rhetoric and personal attacks. It's different under Trump. You don't see that?
Honestly, I do see something different. But I got a serious question. Main reason why I wanted to join.
Sure, what you got?
Is Obama deported 9 million people without due process and put them in cages. Where was the peep at? I just watched a couple minutes ago them screaming at him while he was speaking. And trust me, I believe Obama has the best professionalism there's ever been for presidents ever. I think
you just answered your question by saying that.
Amazing. Well, no, I didn't. I really didn't. Professionalism is separate from deporting 9 million people without due process and putting them in cages. Okay.
Okay.
So, where is that at? I want to know your opinion. I'm open to listening. Please.
Okay. Well, first of all, while you were saying that, I'm gonna see if I can bring it up on the screen, because there is this mindset that nobody was saying anything when Obama was doing that, and that's flat out false. I mean, if you type in what I just typed in here in Google, Obama stopped deporting people, there are literally hundreds of pictures of protests, people demanding that Obama stop deporting people and all of that. I mean, there were protests. So, but when you ask, here's one right here where it says Obama stop deportations and family separations. Yes, you can. The guy is holding up a sign that says not one more. And they're in front of the White House doing that. They're in front of the White House. They got a picture of him and everything right there.
Being wrong. I do not mind being wrong. I wanted to know, but it was 9 million. We're way past what Trump's deported.
Well, and I'll respond by saying, and that's why I said when you mentioned Obama was professional, and I said you're answering your question, when you're going around bragging about bringing misery to people, that is going to draw more attention to you. Just like Bill Clinton fired a bunch of federal workers, but he didn't go on stage with a chainsaw like Elon Musk did. The fact is, this administration is making it seem like they're taking pleasure in doing bad things to people. So they're going to get more attention from it. It's like if you're a medical professional, you're going to lose some patients. Some people are going to die on the operating table. If you look like you enjoy those deaths, you're going to get treated differently than some other doctor where it happens naturally. I mean, it looks like this administration enjoys treating people miserably. So that's why they're getting more attention. And also, I would add to that, I don't know if he had a call. I'll give him a second. I think my viewer had a caller there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I would also tell you, in addition to him taking pleasure in doing this stuff, being all over TV and ridiculing folks, you don't see where that might have some kind of blowback to it. Just being an asshole.
All of them do. Like, I mean,
Obama didn't do that.
The choice you make, it has a significant consequence. Me talking to you has caused 1,000 responses of them hating me.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm saying is Obama didn't make it sound like he took pleasure in delivering misery. That, I mean, like Trump
That's
had
a good point.
Trump.
That's a fair point morally, but morals are not standard unless you believe in God and whatever your God is. Like, I believe that. Like, we have a lot of atheists in this country, and they think morals are pretty weird when you get into that.
I don't. Hey, listen, I'm seeing all of this shit Christians are doing, and I'm kind of questioning their morals as well. But I will also,
dude, you think? Let me tell you this. I promise you this. This is undeniable truth. The lukewarm Christians will be judged before God worse than that Amazon tribe that has no contact with people. They will be damned. They will say, "Turn from me, I never knew you." And it's horrible. It's horrible what they did to the gay people. It's horrible what I can go on, and it drives me.
That's the party you're voting. That's the party you're supporting, is the party that's doing all of that horrible stuff to gays and trans. That's your party.
Well, I told you I'm a moderate. I'm a moderate that leaned right. I saw y'all were forced, and then y'all. What really upset me was Kamala Harris came in, and we're like, yep, that's it. Kamala Harris. Like, nobody voted for her to be the primary Democratic candidate.
So
I'm very upset about that.
You're upset. So you're upset that Kamala Harris was promoted to the top job without people getting a chance to vote. And so you respond to that by voting for a guy who literally tried to steal the election.
Well, I don't know if I agree with the word steal, but I very much love RFK when he was talking about.
No, wait. Let's stick with the steal part. It's been 4 years.
The supporter is not the man. I don't think Donald Trump's this glimmer demi, like the perfect human being.
No, but we're talking about the 2020 election. The guy is in control of the House, the Senate. You got the Supreme Court. Where is the evidence that he won the 2020 election by a landslide? It's been 4 years. Where you got a problem with Kamala Harris getting promoted? This guy tried to steal an election.
Dude, Do you want me to go through name the evidence?
I'll ask it to you this way. Any idea why his whole cabinet, I'm talking about his first term, from Mike Pence, Attorney General Barr, any idea why his whole cabinet says he lost? Not one member of his own cabinet, not one Republican governor in the country. I don't know if there's any Republican senators that are saying he won. Why is that?
He betrayed him.
The whole party? He betrayed the whole party?
The whole party. I really don't think that. Like, I mean, I will answer this and then I'll ask a counter question, but I don't like when people don't answer shit.
Give me what you got.
Trump is a man that doesn't. He did 70 years of his life not playing politics, and politics is another sport.
You don't believe that. You don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
You think you can rise to being one of the top real estate moguls in a corrupt city like New York without playing politics? I mean, you're attending Bill Clinton's wedding. You're hanging around.
Yes.
People bragging that he hung around. People bragging that he hung around Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, Oprah. You don't think that guy's playing politics?
I mean, he gave Nelson Mandela in 1991 his private jet to fly around with his team. Like, I don't know. Trump's been a Democrat his entire life. Most of his team have been Democrats their entire lives. I think the Democratic Party changed somewhere along the way, and it's become, we hate the fucking orange man. That's what I think. And I am not this far right fucking dude. Like, I'm not.
You saying so? Well, you kind of said a few far right things. That's why they think that. But when you say that Trump used to be a Democrat and all of a sudden they hate the orange man, Trump is not saying the same stuff he used to say back when they liked him. I mean, Trump is doing far right shit. So what do you expect the Democrats to do? Keep supporting him?
No, I think that they need to get. They left people. They left a lot of voters that supported them. That's my big problem, is they left them. They said, you 100% agree with everything or we're not including you. That's a really big problem of mine is like, dude, I agree with a lot of Democratic views, but it was, hey, I don't agree with this point. Now I'm a Nazi. Or
you're making it sound like if you disagree with the Democrats, they're going to ostracize you, as you say, see you as a Nazi. But if you vote Republican, they're totally okay with you disagreeing with stuff. You believe that? You can be a Republican and criticize and disagree with Trump, and the Republican Party will be totally okay with that, huh?
I found more acceptance on the right than I did the left. That's my answer to that, to be honest. It's like,
I believe that. I can see if you believe that the white man is being mistreated, yeah, you're going to find a lot more acceptance on the right than the left. That makes sense.
Well, you take it from my perspective, which is impossible to do. The white man took everything, and where is it at? Why would I move next door? Why do my neighbors agree with me? Why have I lived in Suitland, Maryland, and I'm the deep minority? Why at my family dinner I've been the minority? It's like this shit that I'm forced upon because the way I look, I'm a racist. And it fucking sucks. It sucks. It really does.
I mean, I can't speak on who you're hanging around, but I mean, most Americans would not look at you and come to that conclusion. You're hanging around people, maybe they don't went through some shit at the hands of white people or cops or something, and they have that opinion. But listen, I wouldn't have that opinion hanging around you. So it's not the country as a whole. It's probably the people in your inner circle.
I mean, as I said, I was in the military. I don't have this inner circle kind of thing. Like, I got people I love from different continents, from different places all around the world. I've always had a deep, different diversity of a friend group. It's all the same though. Like, I can't tell you how many times people have looked at me and they're like, I can't believe that you would invite me to your house. Like, it's ridiculous. It deeply upsets me. It really does, man. It sucks. It sucks that I'm demonized because the white man took everything. The white man hates you. The white man, like, yes, you're right, dude. Fucking 1980, $27,000 is equal to $238,000 today. But
can I ask your age? I'm just wondering.
Oh yeah, you can. I'm 22.
And you came to this conclusion already by the age of 22? Damn, you almost sound radicalized. At 22, really?
I'm very experienced. I've lived a lot of life too young. It kind of sucks.
Shit. 22.
Yeah. I mean, I knew people would judge that. That kind of
sucks.
But I mean, can you agree that a moderate, like a moderate, would look at an individual situation and then form their intellectual ideas upon that situation, right?
Yeah, but
like, I've lived in DC. Like, I've seen it all. I know people. I don't walk around my life trying to disrespect.
Are you able to relocate? I mean, are you gainfully employed? Are you? Because I'm going to tell you this. And listen, this is a free speech program, so you can criticize me in any way. But I believe in free speech, so I'm gonna say this as well. Based on what you're saying, I'm just going to give you my honest opinion. You sound very open to being radicalized. I would suggest getting out of DC. It sounds like you're seeing things in DC.
I don't live in DC.
Where you at?
I'm you're gonna laugh your ass off at this, to be honest. I live in Mississippi right now.
I gotta go. All right, Chase.
Wait, hold on. Mississippi's majority black.
Yeah.
Like Jackson, Mississippi. Like that's my neighbors, my friends, the people that come in my home. Like we're not racist people, and I hate that it's seen that way, you know?
Your state is like blood red with the exception of maybe Jackson or Hattiesburg. I don't get how you could be living in Mississippi as a white guy and feel like you're being treated like a minority. You got dominance in that area. I mean, you guys...
Oh, man, that sucks, bro. Come over and we'll see, dude. We can fucking go eat dinner.
Listen... When I used to be an over the road driver, I viewed Mississippi damn near as a no-go zone, like a no-fly zone. I don't fuck around.
It's got the Delta brings down the education. Like there's a lot of places that bring down a lot of things, but I grew up luckily in a good part. But it's a good place to be when me personally believe the rapture's happening.
Oh my God. It's one of the poorest fucking states in the union. Chase, I do got to move it on. It certainly is a pleasure talking to you. My door's always open to you, man. We don't have to agree politically. Understand that.
I do understand. We may not agree.
Yeah. But don't worry about that. You can come back through anytime. Thanks for coming through. All right. That is Chase Q. Looking at the comments, elect Democrats, then it would improve your life, says Duke. Well, it depends on what you're suggesting is an improvement. I mean... Look, if you want Christianity in schools, you don't want to elect a Democrat. If you're pro-life, you don't want to elect a Democrat. If you believe in the Second Amendment from a shall not be infringed standpoint, you don't want to elect a Democrat. I mean, there are pros and cons. I can see legitimate reasons to vote either side. I lean left politically, but I can understand why people lean right as well. Not necessarily what my guest was talking about, though. That was a bit... that was a bit harsh. I don't see that. You know, the whole rise of mistreatment of the white man. That's different. But hey, listen, that's his perspective. He's welcome on the program. We are about free speech here. Looking at the comments before we move on, tap the screen. I did want to respond to Dennis Calhoun says reports say Tulsi Gabbard has been sidelined from speaking. That doesn't surprise anyone. No shit. Because, I mean, let's be clear. I played the clips of her saying that Iran is not trying to develop weapons of mass destruction. So what do you think reporters are going to do? With Trump going around making it sound like we need to blow up a nuclear program in Iran. Well, you got your own intelligence director saying that they're not even developing some. So I'm going to put a microphone in Tulsi Gabbard's face as much as I can. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the Trump administration tried to silence her and, reduce her role or take her off of it. She's not saying what needs to be said. That's how Trump kind of is. He has an administration of appointees, and for the most part, they need to say what he believes, not what their jobs tell them to tell them. I mean, as the head of the CIA and all of our intelligence agencies, that's their job, is to go and investigate and come up with conclusions. She concluded that they're not developing a nuclear weapon. Trump said, I don't care what she says, I think they are. Then where are you getting your information from, sir? Because she's the one you normally would hear it from. Where are you getting it from? Probably Netanyahu. Israel fatigue, says AE. Well, you got a lot more room to be tired because it's going to continue going. Looking in the comments, though, 22, somebody said he's still a kid. 22, and he's seen all of that. You ever seen like a really young child playing an instrument, playing the blues. The blues. You listen to the blues down in Nashville or Memphis somewhere. It has that rhythm that it just feels like the person playing it has went through some hardships in life. That deep BB King, Bobby Blue Bland type. 22, he sounded like he should be playing the blues the way he was talking. I mean, like, you've been through a lot for a 22-year-old. Shit. 22, you've been, man, he came, I guess, like I said, I did tell him, in my opinion, he sounds like somebody that is at risk of being radicalized. Hopefully, I'm far-fetched and wrong on that, but based on his opinions, you hear somebody done been radicalized, and you hear somebody, their friends be like, well, he always used to say this, or that's what you normally hear them saying, is that kind of stuff. Like the guy who took the life of Minnesota Representative Melissa Hortman and Tom Hoffman, a senator in that state. They talked to his roommate. Well, he's sitting around watching InfoWars, and he had an opinion against abortion, and he really didn't like the LGBTQ. He was radicalized. He's radicalized, and he went out and tried to do something about it. He's on the right track to be, says T-Mac. Yeah, like I said, it could be. 22 in Mississippi, he hasn't experienced anything in the real USA. I'll leave that at that. They say whatever they need to say to win arguments. When the argument changes, the response changes. And they hope you forget their previous statement. I talk to people like that all the time. I do. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. We'll take a call at 90 thou. For some of you folks that are just watching, I want to play this one more time because this should be all over the news. You guys saw the Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz interview where Ted Cruz cannot even tell you the population of Iran, and Tucker Carlson just tore into him. Well, some of you haven't seen this clip from that same interview that I believe should have went far more viral than the one that did.
Well, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the...
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase, you don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on. Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you'd have asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
So is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
the
God's referring to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by...
That's the worst shit I've heard from a U.S. senator ever. He is literally saying... we should ride for Israel because the Bible tells us to. We should defend Israel because we'll be blessed by God. I mean, he's an actual sitting U.S. senator indicating that the Bible is what he is using to defend military action to protect Israel. He's getting it from the Bible. This is the exact opposite of separation of church and state. He should be gone. Why is he there? Now, I've been saying this on the live the whole time, every time I've played this clip. But listening to Ted Cruz talking about, the Bible will bless us for defending Israel, and he's using scripture for the reason. I've been saying this the whole night. What makes him any different than a radical Islamist? If you replace Bible with the Quran and you replace Israel with Mecca, he sounds like ISIS. He literally sounds just like Al-Qaeda or ISIS. I mean, fundamentally, it's exactly what they say. And the right has, I mean, we don't went to war against people for talking like him and called them radical Islamists. He's a radical Christian. It's like literally the exact same language. The only difference is he's American and he's using it in terms of Christianity. He should be gone saying something like that. How can you even begin to believe that he isn't making other laws based on Christianity? He definitely is the opposite of separation of church and state. Gangsta Grandma. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Oh my God. Look what you had on today. Oh my God, Tim. Pookie, Ray Ray. Oh my God. Interbred mofos. I'm telling your ass. Interbred mofos. Yeah, Jeremy. Like the Mexicans. Motherfucker, go back to where the fuck you came from then. Then you got one right there. Well, you know, the white man, they killed us. What the fuck? Cornbread mofos, man. I tell you, that was a poppy man right there. That was you just witnessed an interbred mofo. Like I hit on his head a couple of times. He probably is his sister's cousin or some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well, gangster. Maybe, I mean, listen, everybody's life experience is different. At 22, he's seen things.
22 years old, and you're over here saying, the white man, oh my God, oh my God, poor white man, he's this, get the fuck out of here. Motherfucker, you got privilege, bitch, and what? Your ass ain't out,
everybody.
You ain't getting pew-pewed, and for God forbid, he's in his service, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God!
I kind of wonder because I did thank him for his service based on his age. I kind of wonder because he made it sound like he had been doing a lot already for a 22-year-old.
He's been listening to the Christian Nationalists, the Triple K, the Proud Boys. He's been listening. He's radicalized already. What are you talking about, Will? Oh, well, what are you talking about? Oh, he's not. Oh, yeah, he is. That right there is a white nationalist right there. Oh, I'm a moderate. No, hell, you ain't no moderate. Who the fuck lied to your ass?
Well, he might be a moderate. He might. I mean, he doesn't.
He ain't no damn moderate. That motherfucker is a maggot, beyond underneath the scum of the maggot. That's the shit I'm telling you. That they motherfuckers be sleeping with their sisters, their uncles, their pappies. That's the shit right there. I tell you. And then Jeremy, he's on the other new fucking level, interbred motherfucker right there, you know what I mean? Yeah, all of them.
What did Jeremy say that was so bad other than deport the Mexicans?
Get the Mexicans out when motherfucking Mexicans been here. They are indigenous to this land. What are you talking about?
Well,
Mexicans and the indigenous people are in. This is their country. And no, they did not colonize. They stole this land. And if you guys go look at what is it called, the foreigners from the native land, they'll tell you what really happened. The white man stole this damn country. The white man stole it from the natives and then the Mexicans. They so did.
Yeah, but I think your people like you is why my last caller, what my last caller was talking about. He's saying that you guys are demonizing white people.
People like me?
Yeah.
But what are you talking about, Willis? Because I tell them the fucking truth about their white ass skin, about the colonizers, that they got white privilege and they use it to unalive people. What the fuck is wrong with that white boy? Why didn't you should have added me up? I would have. Well, I would have tore his ass up and and shoved his little pinky winky, his little uncooked sausage up his own ass. But yeah.
But no. What I'm saying is the way you speak in regards to the way you talk about white people. He feels that some folks in this country are starting to demonize whites and they're being treated like a minority.
Does he want a diaper changed? Does he want a diaper change? No one's people tell him the damn fucking the truth. Poor Pookie, okay? Girly Pop needs to get a life, okay? If I say It hurt your feelings and the shoe fucking fits. He's a racist, no good for nothing, scum of the earth. He's 22 years old. Only like, oh, well, we didn't vote for Kamala. Yes, we did. She's the vice president. If something happened to Joe Biden, she would have stepped up.
But what's making you... He didn't say anything that's... What making you say he's racist?
The way he was talking about poor little white boys. Oh, we're being so hurt. Oh, does he want a cookie? Did you see the white tears coming down his face? Get the fuck back.
I mean, everybody, you can't discount somebody's experience, gangster. I mean, he's in Mississippi. If he feels like
that boy got some experience in racism, get the fuck out of here. He's the one that, not him personally, it's his people made racism. So, you know what? Go tell your ancestors you got a cookie, okay?
I don't know.
His ancestors made racism, okay? His ancestors did that, not me.
Is it possible for a white man to be mistreated in this country? It sounds like you think they can't be mistreated.
They don't get mistreated. When did they get hung? When did they get hung for trees? And with whips. When did they ever get that, huh? Tell me when.
Yeah, but that ain't...
Tell me.
But Gangsta Grandma...
Tell me.
Gangsta Grandma...
Tell me when.
It ain't even...
Motherfuckers got it like that, huh? Tell me when they get out of line for not having shit in their hands with the popo. Tell me when that shit happens, okay? Tell me when you can walk down a fucking street and a cop stops you and asks you where the fuck you going and if you're in a Mercedes-Benz. Tell me that, huh? That white boy don't got shit. Don't know shit about discrimination.
But Gangsta Grandma...
That's white privilege right there. That's a saltine white privilege.
Gangsta Grandma, even African Americans haven't been lynched in this country in decades. That is not something happening now.
Not a day lynching. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
Are you trying to...
What the hell are you talking about?
Are you trying to tell me that right now, as we speak, people of color are still being lynched?
Like in modern day, like type of shit? Like it could be with the po-po. It could be with anything. You know, hate crimes are up. What are you talking about? Quit trying to ride his little pinky winky. And they gonna get you, you can't have an orgasm. So stop it.
What the hell? No, I think...
You be right on a white man so bad. You be right on the white man so bad. Well, you really think we get it? Well, what the fuck do you think what the po-po be doing to us?
Well... the point I'm making is... I think that you're demonizing whites and you're down...
I'm saying the maggots. I'm not saying the normal white people that don't mess with their cousins, their uncles, their ray-rays, even the damn dogs or the horses. I'm not talking about the normal white people. I'm talking about the maggots. The ones that be messing with their dogs, messing with their cousins, and have inbred motherfuckers that just was on your show.
Well, now you just mentioned that blacks, have to be fearful of the popos, as you called it.
We do!
Okay.
What are you talking about? Do you think we're really safe? Are you fucking serious, Tim?
Hold on. I want you to hear this. I want you to give me your opinion on this. You may have heard it before, but I want to get your opinion on this.
Let's talk about George Floyd. You said George Floyd's death was a terrible thing.
Terrible.
Why are African Americans still dying at the hands of law enforcement in this country?
And so are white people. So are white people. What a terrible question to ask. So are white people. More white people, by the way. More white people.
How do you respond to that?
What?
He's saying that the police are a bigger danger to white people.
Are you fucking serious?
That's the president of the United States.
They're not. Where? Show me where. Show me where. And the only reason why they say, this is the only reason why they say that they get unalive for it, because they put Cubans and some of the Latinos underneath the white man. But it's mostly, there are 3 people that get unalive. The first ones are us black folks, okay? The second one is Latinos. The third one is indigenous. Where's the white man at?
Well, in the comments, Yasmin says, "Go Trump, a woman of color here." So many of us have woken up.
She's a raccoon too. She's a sellout of a fucking raccoon, thinking that she's gonna get that white dingling up her ass, and then she's gonna be white so bad. She's trying to get white so bad.
Why do you gotta go there? Is it not a? What if she has?
Because she's a sellout. That right there is a sellout. She's a raccoon. And she's probably an ugly ass one too.
Oh my God!
And then top of everything else, she's thinking the white man's gonna give her the $5,000. That's why she went right there. Oh, I'm gonna get to white. They're so bad. House ninja.
Maybe she just is pro-life, wants a better economy. She's pro-2A. Maybe she just thinks Trump is a better politician.
Oh my fucking God. A better economy? We had a better economy under Joe Biden. He was one of the best damn presidents we had. He was a pro-black president. But unfortunately, the white T-man and the raccoons, like her dumb ass, said, no, we can't do that. Oh, God forbid. We have good stuff going down. Now look what the fuck, no, I'm not white. Now look what the fuck we got now. We have a fucking dumbass in office that's gonna put us in World War fucking 3. Yeah, that's really fucking good, right? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It hasn't quite happened yet, so you might be jumping the gun.
Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. What the hell? Hello, but yeah, I'm so racist, right? I go after the raccoons too. I tell you, if you had a black maggot up in here, I would go the hell off on him too.
What is
They are sorry ass scum of the earth. They're the bottom of the bucket. They want to be so white so bad.
Let me get clarity. What is a raccoon?
Not you. So be lucky.
Somebody got in the comments. She actually thought she wasn't black unless she voted for Biden. So, Biden said, vote for me.
Okay, see, this is how stupid these motherfuckers are. That's how he likes the uneducated motherfucker. That's probably why she's the bottom of the fucking bucket. She got rejected by her mom and her daddy. Okay? Fucking sellout with fucking winch. But anyways, now, let me tell you this. He said, why would black people vote for a Republican? Why? Tell me why. Why would we? They're the triple K. They want to put us in a tree. They want to give the polices immunity.
I could give you several. Wait, hold on. I could give you several reasons why a black person would vote for Trump. Legitimate reasons.
PPE loans. That was the Democrats.
No, there are legitimate reasons for an African American or a person of color to vote for Trump.
Yeah, they sellouts. They want to be white so bad.
It ain't got nothing to do with being sellouts. Some of Trump's policies. Some of Trump's policies.
What policy for white? Well, hold the fuck on. What the fuck policy does he have that goes for us? Oh God, please tell me one. Oh, tell me one.
Okay.
Tell me one, 'cause I can name 4 or 5 for fucking for Biden.
Okay, let me respond by saying, if you're black and you vote for Trump, it may not be a.
You guys took it. You took that and they ran with it.
I'm actually trying to answer your question. If you are African American and you vote for Trump, it may not be something that is specifically tailored to African Americans. It might be other issues. I've asked you this before. If you're pro-life, you're gonna vote for Kamala Harris?
Yes. If you want to, you don't have to. Let me tell you something, Jim. I'm not like you, okay? I ain't gonna sit my fat fucking ass over here and kissing the white man's ass like you do, okay? You bend over like a whole bitch, and you be over here saying, "Oh yes, daddy," and you let these motherfuckers go over here and talking yank shit. You ain't gonna push back on the fucking yo-yo that was in your life, saying, "Well, you part the fucking Mexicans." Well, bitch, you get your white ass in there and fucking pick every damn thing. You feel what I'm saying? See, I'm not like you. I come straight fucking hard and ham on these motherfuckers. You feel what I'm saying? Straight ham.
Okay, I get that part, but I do still disagree with you. There are reasons for an African American or a person of color.
Give me one damn good reason. The only reason why they did it because they want to get white so fucking bad. That thing that Trump had they fucking backs. Oh, Trump this. Oh, Trump this. Oh my God, my eggs. My eggs are so expensive. Oh, my cheese. I have to count my cheeses to put on a piece of bread. Oh my God, my gas. Bitch, no. You voted for the Triple K because you black, bitch. And you thought that he wasn't going to hang your ass. That's why, okay? Let's be fucking for real. Okay? It wasn't about the cheese. It wasn't about the fucking eggs. And it certainly wasn't about the gas. Because I know my fucking gas is up through the fucking roof right now. I know my eggs is still $12 fucking damn dollars a damn dozen. And I know my meat is at $8.99 a pound for fucking ground beef. Fuck you, fuck everything about you, and the maggots. That's what I said.
I got viewers.
She wants to suck on that man so bad that she wants his protein all of his mouth because she's like, yes, master, yes, master. That's what she is. So, and what?
I got viewers suggesting you are the definition of Trump derangement syndrome.
No, I'm a definition. I call the bitch out. I call them black maggots out. I call the brown maggots out. I call the white tea maggots out. I call them all the fuck out. They're the detrimental of this damn country. Look at what the fuck we're in right now. We have a damn basket case in the fucking office that's gonna put all of us in fucking hell and go get us all nuked. Nuked, my dear, nuked. They're gonna get us all nuked. They have cells in this damn country and they're gonna get us all nuked. Because why? Because he thinks that they got a fucking, what is it called? A bomb. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, there's a lot of liberals that think they got a bomb too.
Oh, I don't know. I just wish they'd leave the fuck alone. We don't go to war, okay? That's what I really wish, because I don't want boots on the fucking ground. And I really don't want that. I wish, honest to God, and I wish God would hear my prayers, because I am a Christian. And what that man said, what's that dude's name? That one dude that you just, what's his name? That senator said
Ted Cruz.
That right there was a Christian nationalist. Yeah, that was a Christian nationalist. He's a radical. They all are. Okay? And then look at them all. And the only reason, another reason why that the black men and black women voted for Donald Trump, because what is that called? They don't like gay people. They don't. They really don't.
They have an issue with. They have an issue with trans being shoved down their throats.
Oh my God, trans being shoved down their throat. You know what's being shoved down our throats? Christianity. And I'm a damn Christian, okay? That's being shoved down our throat. They want to put Bibles in the schools. That's being shoved down our throat. 10 Commandments in our schools. That's being shoved down our throat. Having, what is it called? Straight sex and all the fucking damn TV shows. That's being shoved down our throat. Teenage pregnancy is being shoved down our throat. Oh my God. And you're worried about 1%. 1%. And nobody's shoving it down your fucking throat.
All right,
you're homophobics. God fucking forbid we like coochie and ding-a-ling. You're just too fucking ugly to get it.
All right, gangster grandma.
Sorry. No. They're just too fucking ugly. If I seen a maggot women and a maggot black women, they ugly. They fucking fugly. I would have fucked them with a 10-foot pole on my dog's dick. You feel what I'm saying? I really wouldn't. I would go, I promise you, I would go get me a lot of toys. I'll get me the rose, a ding-a-langy, everything else. So I would never ass with none of the probably coochie smell like fucking fish and nasty ass for JJ and everything else, honey. At least our shit. Our liberal asses, we take showers, we're educated, we like to go get money, we're not all there on food stamps selling them. You feel what I'm saying? So I give you guys the smoke right back. You feel me? The red states, my dear Watsons, the little red states that voted for him, F-A-F-O, honey, because guess what? He's taking your little food stamps away.
I'll leave it at that, gangster grandma, as always.
But you know what thing is, Tim? I'm going to tell you this, though. You need to start pushing back. I promise you. I'm gonna start coming up.
I do.
You do, because you let that.
Listen, I can't host a show talking about they got dicks that look like uncooked meat and all this shit. I don't talk to people like that.
I'm sorry, Tim. You want me to tell? What do you want me to tell them? That they look like a little bit of cooked meat? I mean, they still look nasty. But anyways. You gotta get that. That's
not how we run the program, gangster. I gotta go. go.
Okay, but Tim, you gotta tell him. You gotta push back more, saying that why they feel that they're being like discriminated because they have.
I asked him all of those questions. That's
and
what.
He couldn't even answer it.
All right, we'll see what we can do, gangster.
Well, I got to go.
Appreciate it. All right, moving on with the program. Wow, She's probably my most popular guest. I get more conversation about Gangsta Grandma outside of the program than anybody else. So she has a lot of fans on the program. I know some of you guys, my beloved MAGA, don't like her at all, but I got a lot of fans for her as well. And by the way, when I say free speech program, if you're MAGA and you happen to come up and your opinion is the exact opposite of hers, but you're just as passionate, I don't censor you either. So understand this is not a program where we're just giving credibility to liberals to speak. People on the right come on the program and say what they want at Liberty as well. So we're free speech here. That's what we're all about. Trump doesn't even know what he's doing right now. Says freedom or die. Wow. Well, he's only been in office for about 5 months, so we got to see what happens. But I'm no fan of the Iranian conflict. I don't like the direction that's headed in at all. I just do not. I've brought up before, we're talking about the Iranians because they've said death to Israel, that, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want or whatever the case may be. That should be the reason we can go in there or whatever. North Korea, Kim Jong-un has said way more damning, threatening shit about America than Iran. Way more stuff. Firing missiles over Japan, which is one of our NATO allies or whatever the case may be. Threatening South Korea, another one of our close allies. Threatening to bomb Guam, which is an actual territory of the United States. In fact, he was threatening to bomb Guam so much they started doing bomb drills and shit. Iran hasn't done anywhere near that kind of stuff. Yet we're talking about going in and attacking Iran. To me, it comes across as just some bullying type shit, where we know they don't have, or we don't think they have, an atomic weapons program. So they make an easier target, but the North Koreans do. So we're going to hold out. It just sounds like we're trying to kick their ass because we can. Because, yeah, North Korea has done and said way more damning things than the Iranians have. They just have. Also, it does appear as if Netanyahu of Israel somehow, some way has convinced America to do its bidding. And under Trump, because Trump is not putting any restrictions on Netanyahu, it's kind of their perfect time to take out their frustrations on any perceived enemy in the region. Since Trump has been president, this little short time Trump has been president, Israel has went into Gaza, obviously. October 7th is Gaza. So they did originally have a reason to go into Gaza, but that's been 3 years ago, come October. So they're way beyond self-defense. But anyway, since Trump has been in office, they've been in Gaza, the West Bank, Syria, Lebanon. They bombed places in Yemen, and now they're in Iran. That's like 6 locations. I mean, every single day for about 3 years straight almost now, Israel has killed people. They've been killing people every single day for almost 3 straight years. Now they're bombing Iran day and night. They were bombing the Gaza Strip day and night. I mean, they literally are just, every day they're killing people for almost 3 years straight and claiming that it's self-defense. Iran with nuclear weapons scare me. It should know, Bruno. There's a lot of bad actors with atomic weapons. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, in my opinion, I think it's propaganda. Obviously, I mentioned North Korea is a bad actor in regards to the United States. They have nuclear weapons. Pakistan is considered a bad actor. They were letting bin Laden hide out there. They have nuclear weapons. Obviously, Russia and China have nuclear weapons. I don't know. Turkey, I think Turkey does. We're not, they're NATO. I guess we're somewhat friends with Turkey. But the point being is that we have several countries that we consider enemies that have nuclear weapons, and they're not going around bombing every damn body. They're not doing it. Mutually assured destruction. You heard about that during the Cold War. MAD, mutually assured. That still applies. If Iran gets a nuclear weapon, they're not going to go out and just start using that shit, knowing that hundreds of them might come in return. Iran is not going to do that. I strongly believe that is American propaganda that gives our leaders your blessing to go in there and dominate those people. North Korea is not even doing it. All of the shit you hear coming from North Korea, they're not going around bombing people. They're not stupid. Mutually assured destruction is real. If Iran gets a nuclear weapon, what it's likely going to do is it's going to stop the West from fucking with Iran. They're not going to go around and start bombing the United States or Israel with nuclear weapons, knowing that a whole shower of them will come back on them. They're not going to do that. But it sounds good to convince you that they are, because it allows you to give your leaders your blessing so that they can have their way with Iran. I just stand by the notion that mutually assured destruction means something. And by the way, somebody yelling death to America is not a legitimate reason to go attack them. Just simply saying you don't like a country is that you're not justified to act self-defense because somebody doesn't like you. We speak ill of countries all the time. That's not a reason for self-defense. I hate to sound like I'm defending Iran, but I do believe we're using them as some kind of whipping boy. I mean, if they obtain a nuclear bomb or a nuclear weapon, they're going to be able to, for the most part, be free to act in their region. I mean, you want to talk about committing acts of terror, for instance. We talk about, well, Iran sponsors terror. How much of the shit they do is similar to what we do? We don't sponsor groups of people that are mercenaries or that are attacking countries. You don't think we do all of that stuff? Whether it's the cartel, whether it's different side, almost every conflict on earth, America's involved in it one way or another. It's really a matter of our shit don't stink and theirs do. We're going to call Iran a terrorist nation, but they really are not involved in our region. We're all over their region, but they're the terrorists. They're not involved in anything we do. We're all in their business, calling them terrorists. I don't, like I said, I don't get it, other than this propaganda gives our leaders free will to do things they want to do. That is often for their benefit. But any definition of how you feel about Iran could probably be applied to the United States. I mean, you go all the way back to the Iran-Contra scandal. You know, we've been involved in all of these events, committing acts of terror, really, if you want to look at it that way. We just don't call our acts terrorism. But we're doing the same shit that they're doing. We just ain't calling it what we would call it if they did it to us. You ever wonder why they call Israel a state? It's a country. All countries are referred to as a state. So I mean, that's the reason I think they call Israel a state. We haven't unleashed the beast. I don't know about that yet. We haven't went in there yet. I have a question. We fought in the Vietnam War. That was not our war to fight. So what would make this any different? Probably, I would say, very similar to what you're talking about. This isn't, I don't think historically we'll look back and say the Iran war was a war we should have fought. We'll probably look back and say that was an unnecessary war. So I'm going to say it's very similar to that. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 102,000 likes. Thank you for tapping the screen. I do ask that you follow the program if you're watching on TikTok or Clapper this evening. We don't block, ban, or censor. You know how the program is ran. But unfortunately, just like the rest of you folks, I am a working man. I got to get up early in the morning. Give me a sub if you're watching on YouTube as well. Do ask that. All wars are kind of stupid, to be honest. No, I don't know about that, Johnny Ohio. If somebody's actively attacking you, you got to defend yourself. Somebody's actively threatening your sovereignty or threatening your life and freedom. That's different. Like what the Ukrainians are doing with Russia. They have to do that. They're going to cease to exist. If Russia wins that war, they're going to probably find Zelensky and either kill him or put him in prison for the rest of his life. And a lot of the folks that served in the Ukrainian military are probably going to face some kind of draconian punishments or death as well. They're fighting for their lives. That ain't a stupid war they're fighting. It's America often gets in wars to promote the American way of life. to promote capitalism as opposed to communism. We're trying to force the world to live like us. That's different. That's different. We're not fighting to save our lives. World War II was probably the last war America was involved in that we were fighting for our own existence, because obviously Japan and Germany, all of those other wars since that shit, we were fighting to take away freedoms from other people. We weren't fighting for our freedom. We were fighting to tell other people, you can't live this way, you can't do that, you got to do this. And this is another case of that. Fighting Iran is another case of that, telling them you can't have the weapons that we do. That's America. It's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I will see you folks tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Same on YouTube. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Very active audience over here. You guys are MAGA. Thank you. And